Chapter 1892. The Hunyuan Golden Pill created by the Hunyuan Elixir Saint was an incomparably precious sacred elixir. Legend had it that it could revive the dead and grow flesh and bones. Moreover, it could strengthen one's physical strength and allow one to be reborn. It was extremely miraculous. However, the most important use of the Hunyuan Golden Pill was to help one become a sage. In ancient times, there was a rumor that when a golden pill was swallowed into one's stomach, one would be in control of one's own life. This was referring to the Hunyuan Golden Pill. After consuming the Hunyuan Golden Pill and becoming a sage, one would be able to control one's own fate to a certain extent. Zhao Ritian had not expected Ling Xiao to take out the Hunyuan Golden Pill formula. Instantly, he could not remain calm. "That's right. Do you want to bet?" Ling Xiao asked with a smile. "Of course. Whoever doesn't bet is a coward. Anyway, you're going to lose. Since you want to give me the Hunyuan Golden Pill formula, I'll accept it," Zhao Ritian said without hesitation. His eyes were burning with passion. "Very well. Don't go back on your words. Whether you can defeat me or not depends on whether you can refine a sage elixir, and what kind of sage elixir you can refine," Ling Xiao said with a smile. The reason why he suddenly wanted to bet with Zhao Ritian was to see what kind of treasure the extreme Dao Emperor weapon that Zhao Ritian had obtained. Moreover, the refining of the eternal creation pill was extremely difficult. After all, Ling Xiao's cultivation was not high enough. Although he had obtained the inheritance of the Hunyuan Elixir Saint and the Sun Moon Elixir sect, he might not be able to refine the eternal creation pill. However, Zhao Ritian's Flame Emperor Cauldron was an extreme Dao Emperor weapon. If Zhao Ritian was willing to help, Ling Xiao would definitely be able to refine the eternal creation pill. "Go back on my words? How can I, Zhao Ritian, go back on my words? Just you wait," Zhao Ritian said with a smile. Rumble. Just as Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were conversing through telepathy, the void rumbled with dazzling light. More than 1,000 ancient stone platforms appeared. On each stone platform, there was a crimson alchemy cauldron. They looked ancient and exuded a faint saintly aura. They were extraordinary. First, the Grand Alchemy Competition. Everyone, please follow the order of exiting the illusionary heart array in the first round to collect the 100 spiritual herbs that you need from Master Jiao. Tai Yunzi's voice resounded in the void. A glint flashed across the eyes of many alchemists. They could not help but take a deep breath and reveal an extremely excited expression. The alchemy competition finally began. Zhao Ritian took first place in the first stage of the Great Illusory Heart Array. Everyone's eyes fell on Zhao Ritian. Zhao Ritian immediately smiled proudly. Then he leaped up and stood in front of Master Wine. "You must be Ling Xiao? The Illusionary Heart Great Array's performance was very good. With your strength, it shouldn't be a problem for you to enter the top 10. Master Jiao looked at Zhao Ritian curiously. Zhao Ritian's expression froze. He felt a little depressed. Back then, he had impersonated Ling Xiao's name out of mischief. Now he finally felt awkward. However, he still smiled proudly and said, "Greetings, Master Wine. I will definitely be the alchemy champion this time." Seeing how confident Zhao Ritian was, Master Jiao shook his head and smiled. "That's right. It's good to be confident. What kind of spirit herbs do you need?" "I need." Zhao Ritian immediately said the names of the 100 spirit herbs he needed. However, his voice was very weak. No one could hear him. No one knew what spirit herbs Zhao Ritian had chosen. When Master Jiao heard Zhao Ritian's request, he quickly knew what kind of elixir Zhao Ritian was going to concoct. He couldn't help but be slightly surprised. "You want to concoct that kind of elixir? Are you sure you don't want to reconsider?" "There's no need to reconsider. I want these spirit herbs," Zhao Ritian said stubbornly. "All right. Here are the spirit herbs you need. Keep them well. If you fail, you won't have a second chance." Master Jiao did not try to persuade Zhao Ritian anymore. He passed the spirit herbs Zhao Ritian needed to refine. Zhao Ritian's body suddenly flashed. He chose a stone platform in the void and sat down with his legs crossed. The second person was Zhuo Bufan. Zhuo Bufan's eyes shone brightly as he looked at Zhao Ritian. Obviously, he had already regarded Zhao Ritian as his opponent. However, his expression was calm. after bowing respectfully to Master Jiu. He also sat down on the stone platform after receiving his spirit herbs. Following them were Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the others. Ling Xiao was ranked 10th. After all, he was delayed in the illusory heart great array, so his ranking was not near the front. Naturally, he was not as dazzling as Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan. Everyone's eyes fell on the top 10 people. Their eyes were filled with curiosity. It was as if they were thinking about who would be the champion of the alchemy competition this time. After all, these 10 people were very likely to be the top 10 of the Grand Alchemy competition. Therefore, the champion of the alchemy competition could very well be one of these 10 people. I think the champion of the alchemy competition this time will definitely be Zhuo Bufan. He is the personal disciple of the mountain master of Pill Talisman. It is said that although his cultivation has yet to become a sage, in terms of alchemy, he can already refine the supreme divine pill. That's right. I also feel that Zhuo Bufan is the most likely winner. That Ling Xiao's talent is also very good. It is said that he refined the 5 elements divine pill, and was certified as a 9-star alchemy grandmaster. Moreover, he walked out of the illusory heart formation before Zhuo Bufan. That's right. This Ling Xiao's talent is even more dazzling than Zhao Ritian's. If nothing unexpected happens, I'm afraid the champion of the alchemy competition will be between Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui, and Huang Xuanzong's talent is also very good. Their strength in alchemy is extremely strong. However, they are still weaker than Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao. That's right. Lin Xi's talent in alchemy is also extremely strong. However, she is participating in the talisman competition this time. Otherwise, she might be able to compete with Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao for the championship. Everyone stared at the 1,000 figures in the void and discussed animatedly. However, most of their gazes fell on Zhuo Bufan and Zhao Ritian. After all, not only were Zhuo Bufan and Zhao Ritian's strength extraordinary, their appearances and bearing were also extraordinary. The two of them sat there, as if they were the center of heaven and earth, attracting more than half of everyone's attention. The champion of the alchemy competition this time will definitely be Big Brother Zhao Ritian. A crisp voice was heard, appearing extremely abrupt. Everyone could not help but look over curiously. They realized that it was a little monk carved out of jade. His hands were clasped together as he stood between Lin Xi and Jin Sei with his head lowered. He looked extremely cute. Little monk, a monk doesn't lie. Are you so sure that Zhao Ritian will win? Not to mention Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao. Even Lu Wenlong and Xiao Rui are extremely strong. Lin Xi looked at the little monk in surprise. The champion of the alchemy competition will definitely be Big Brother Zhao Ritian. Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao can't do it. They will lose. Chapter 1893. Everyone was speechless. Where did this little monk come from? Why was he so confident in Zhao Ritian? If it weren't for Lin Xi and Jin Sei, everyone would have started mocking Ling Yun. I also believe that he'll win. What Lin Xi didn't expect was that Jin Sei also raised her head and said calmly, "The two of you, even if you're related to Zhao Ritian, you can't believe him without any reason, right? You don't know how powerful Zhuo Bufan is, and you don't know how powerful the mystical heaven origin fire is." Lin Xi smiled bitterly. He had already guessed Ling Xiao's identity. He knew that Ling Xiao was the battle hall master of the war god temple, not a descendant of some hidden ancient clan. Although Ling Xiao's attainments in alchemy were good, Lin Xi felt that he had used a trick to reach the level of a 9-star alchemist grandmaster. Although he had a good impression of Ling Xiao, his rationality told him that Ling Xiao's chances of becoming the alchemy champion were slim. Rumble. Just as everyone was discussing, wind and thunder rumbled in the void. Flames burned fiercely. The flames on the high platforms began to burn. The alchemy cauldrons shone brightly as more than 1,000 alchemists began to refine pills. Everyone's attention was immediately attracted. The alchemy cauldrons on the high platforms were all top-notch sage-level treasures. They were all of the same quality. For the sake of fairness, they used the same alchemy cauldrons. However, there was no such thing as absolute fairness. Although the alchemy cauldrons were the same, the quality of the pills refined would naturally be different if one had a powerful divine flame, saint flame, or even origin fire. In the void, the alchemy cauldrons began to glow. Flames surrounded them. Although most of them were divine flames, there were still more than a dozen saint flames. They were filled with powerful saint aura and looked extremely extraordinary. Ling Xiao chose a stone platform at the edge. He didn't stand out like Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan. He directly chose the two stone platforms in the center. The alchemy cauldrons on the stone platforms were crimson red. There were strange runes on them. With a flick of his finger, an incomparably crisp and mysterious sound was heard. It seemed ethereal and clear. Ling Xiao directly sat down in front of the alchemy cauldrons and prepared to refine pills. This time he wanted to refine the Saint Spirit pill, and the main ingredient he needed was the origin saint herb he'd gathered in the minor pill talisman realm, the stalagmite Saint Spirit flower. There were 9 grades of sacred elixirs. The Saint Spirit elixir could be considered a second-grade sacred elixir. If one's alchemy skills were strong enough, it was not impossible to refine a third-grade sacred elixir. Ling Xiao knew that in order to win the Grand Alchemy competition, one had to have at least a saint pill. If it was a half-saint pill, one wouldn't even be able to enter the top 10, let alone win the championship. The Saint Spirit pill was an ancient pill that contained the mysterious power of the Saint Spirit. Not only could it increase the power of the soul, but it could also increase the chances of becoming a saint. Ling Xiao could feel that although Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the others were only 9-star alchemy grandmasters, they probably had the hope of refining a first-grade saint pill. If Ling Xiao wanted to win the championship, he had to at least refine a second-grade, or even third-grade sacred elixir. Many alchemists in the surroundings had already started refining pills. In this void, many alchemists had been holding their breaths for a long time. At this moment, it could be said that each of them displayed their magical powers and displayed their trump cards. All kinds of alchemy techniques were dazzling. It's him. Ling Xiao was not in a hurry to refine pills. Instead, he closed his eyes slightly to rest. However, he felt 2 hostile eyes looking at him, and he couldn't help but be moved. Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma. The 2 of them actually chose to sit on the left and right of Ling Xiao. Their eyes were full of coldness. Although they only glanced at Ling Xiao indifferently, Ling Xiao still noticed the trace of killing intent in their eyes. You're courting death. If you really want to die, then I'll fulfill your wish. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. He could feel that Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma were not here with good intentions. They probably wanted to do something secretly. However, Master Jiao, Tai Yunzi, and Xiao Hong were all sitting cross-legged in the void. Vast holy path aura spread out like 3 brilliant suns, mysterious and unfathomable. With the 3 of them around, Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma naturally did not dare to act wildly. If they made the slightest move, they would be turned into dust. Poison Grandma looked at Ling Xiao with hatred and snorted coldly. Then she turned around and began refining pills. Boom! Poison Grandma's palms slammed on the pill cauldron in front of her. Immediately, the pill cauldron spun and let out a clear cry. Then, black flames rose from her palms and enveloped the pill cauldron in an instant. A purple flame spread out from Master Ziyang's palms, and also enveloped the pill cauldron in front of him. The runes on the pill cauldron were dazzling. As the pill cauldron's temperature rose, Master Ziyang also began to throw pills into the pill cauldron, and began refining pills. Is that Poison Grandma's 5 poison sacred fire and Master Ziyang's purple sun sacred fire? The 2 of them are here as well? Someone cried out in surprise. Their gaze fell on Poison Grandma and Master Ziyang. Poison Grandma and Ziyang Venerable Master were both 9-star alchemy grandmasters. Moreover, they were extremely powerful. Moreover, they possessed a supreme saint flame. After all, among more than 1,000 alchemy grandmasters, there were only a few dozen people who possessed a saint flame. Therefore, when the 2 of them began to refine pills, some people immediately noticed them. Divine fire was the burning divine force of a godhood expert. It was formed by fusing with the laws of the Great Path. It contained a sliver of the power of the laws, so it was not particularly precious. However, sacred fire was extremely precious. It was formed by a true saint who had comprehended the origin of fire, and condensed a Tao fruit of fire. Ordinary people would not be able to obtain such a Tao fruit of fire. Naturally, they would not be able to obtain a sacred fire. As for the origin flame, it was born from heaven and earth. It was naturally even more difficult to obtain. Poison Grandma and Master Ziyang definitely possessed sacred fire, because they had obtained the 5 poison sacred fire and purple sun sacred fire Tao fruits. Only after refining them could they possess sacred fire. Both the 5 poison sacred fire and purple sun sacred fire are extremely powerful. I wonder what kind of pills these two are refining. Someone's eyes revealed a trace of anticipation. Is there even a need to ask? Poison Grandma has summoned the 5 poison sacred fire. She must be refining the 5 poison sacred pill. As for Master Ziyang, it's hard to say. Someone said without hesitation. The 5 poison sacred pill was refined using 5 types of poisonous insects and various heaven and earth spiritual herbs. It was said that anyone below the saint level who consumed the 5 poison sacred pill would die without a doubt. Even a saint would be severely injured. It was truly a poisonous sacred pill. Chapter 1894. Whoosh! A stream of light flashed in Grandma Poison's palm. Instantly, a few streams of light flew into the cauldron. Ling Xiao could see that they were 5 poisonous insects. They were a black scorpion, a silver ring snake, a 5-colored spider, a giant toad, and a 9-segment centipede. These 5 poisonous insects had strong auras. They were comparable to sage-level poisonous insects. At this moment, they were being used by Grandma Poison to refine the 5 poison saint pill. A strong fishy smell filled the air. Some of the alchemists around Grandma Poison could not help but frown. Their expressions turned ugly. Grandma Poison had offended several alchemists by doing this. However, although they were angry, they could not vent their anger. Ling Xiao's expression was extremely calm. It was as if he was not disturbed. He did not refine the pill directly. Instead, he closed his eyes and his heart became calm. All his attention was on the cauldron in front of him. Boom. After a moment, Ling Xiao suddenly opened his eyes. 2 rays of golden light shot out. He patted the cauldron in front of him. Suddenly, a vast sky-devouring fire exploded. The golden flame looked dazzling. In an instant, it enveloped the entire cauldron. The cauldron shone brilliantly. The runes on the cauldron seemed to come alive. The cauldron emitted a strange sound, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. Whoosh! Ling Xiao directly opened the lid of the alchemy cauldron, and then a bright light flashed. He directly threw over 100 kinds of elixirs into the alchemy cauldron, and then closed the lid in an instant. No one saw what kind of elixirs he took out. What kind of flame is that? It doesn't look like a divine flame or a sacred flame. Someone stared at the sky-devouring fire that Ling Xiao had taken out and said doubtfully. The sky-devouring fire looked very mysterious. No one felt the aura of the divine power law, or the fluctuation of the sacred might. Therefore, they could not see the origin of the flame that Ling Xiao had used. Hey, it is indeed a very mysterious flame. I can't see it either. Senior brother Jiao, do you know it? Above the void, Tai Yunzi saw the sky-devouring fire that Ling Xiao had taken out. His eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Tai Yunzi was the alchemy saint of Pill Talisman Mountain. His strength was unfathomable. His attainments in alchemy were extremely high. He knew a lot about the divine flames, sacred flames, and even the origin flames. However, he could not see the origin of the sky-devouring fire. I don't recognize it either. Perhaps this brat is hiding the origin of the flame. Unless he can bring out a wisp of flame, I won't be able to tell. But this boy's alchemy talent is extraordinary. I really have some expectations for him. A glint flashed across Master Jiao's eyes as he smiled faintly. Senior brothers, I don't know what kind of flame that is, but I do know that this kid is really daring. He actually put so many spiritual herbs into the cauldron at the same time. Isn't he afraid of the cauldron exploding? Xiao Hong said coldly as he looked at Tai Yunzi and Master Jiao. To refine so many spirit herbs at the same time. And there's even an origin sacred herb among them. This kid is either a madman, or he really is confident. I really want to see what tricks he has up his sleeves. Master Wine said with a faint smile. Rumble. However, What disappointed the three of them was that after Ling Xiao took out the sky-devouring fire and threw all the spirit herbs into the cauldron, he sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes to rest. His hands unconsciously activated the sky-devouring fire, and he began to refine the spirit herbs in the cauldron. However, what they did not know was that Ling Xiao's incomparably majestic primordial spirit power had already poured into the cauldron. He was monitoring every inch of the cauldron. The mysterious power of the sky-devouring fire had also entered the cauldron, separating the hundreds of spirit herbs and beginning to refine the essence of the spirit herbs. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao for a while, but they did not find anything special. They all looked away in disappointment. At this moment, Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui, and Huang Xuanzong all took out powerful sacred flames. They were all alchemy geniuses, and their status was incomparably prominent. It was naturally not difficult for them to obtain some flame Dao fruit, so each of them had a powerful sacred flame. They all used various alchemy techniques, and the cauldron in front of them bloomed with resplendent light, as dazzling as the sun. Moreover, their speed was extremely fast, so no one could see what spirit herbs they took out, let alone guess what kind of pills they were going to refine. Boom! A resplendent flame bloomed, as if it was going to split the heavens and earth. It contained a trace of chaotic light, and it directly shot into the sky, forming an incomparably mysterious light pillar. It instantly attracted everyone's attention. On the centermost stone platform, Shuo Bufan's white robe fluttered, and his temperament was extraordinary. The corner of his mouth held a faint smile. At this moment, his hands were forming a seal, and a chaotic flame spurted out from his chest, pouring into the cauldron in front of him along with his hands. The cauldron trembled violently, like a small boat bobbing in the sea, containing an incomparably mysterious aura. The runes on the cauldron lit up one by one, and it looked even more mysterious and vast. That flame not only alarmed all the alchemists, but even the three saints above the void were alarmed. "That's the origin flame?" someone exclaimed, his voice full of excitement. "That's right. It's Shuo Bufan's Xiantian origin flame. He even took out the Xiantian origin flame. It seems that he has already locked in the champion position," an old man with white hair and a beard said with some emotion. This was a highly respected old man, known as the Heavenly Talisman Lord. He was a 9-star talisman grandmaster, and as soon as he spoke, everyone was immediately shocked. Previously, it was said that Zhuo Bufan had an origin flame, but most people did not believe it. Now that they saw Zhuo Bufan really take out the Xiantian origin flame, they were naturally incomparably shocked. The Xiantian origin flame ranked 301st on the origin list. Perhaps most people did not know the specific effects of the Xiantian origin flame, but they only knew that the Xiantian origin flame was a great help to alchemy. Perhaps Shuo Bufan could originally refine a first-grade divine pill, but with the help of the Xiantian origin flame, he could refine a second-grade divine pill. Everyone's eyes were attracted by Zhuo Bufan, and their eyes were filled with incomparable amazement and envy as they looked at the Xiantian origin flame. Even the surrounding alchemists couldn't help but feel a little affected in their state of mind. Boom, boom, boom. Chapter 1895. Although the few alchemists only suffered some minor injuries, they were disqualified from the grand competition and were immediately eliminated. They then left the stone platform in the void with their faces covered in dirt. "The limelight has been stolen by this guy. Fine, I'll show you what Zhao Ritian can do." Zhao Ritian, who was beside Zhuo Bufan, was a little unhappy. He did not have the chance to show off, but Zhuo Bufan had stolen all the limelight. Boom! A sharp glint flashed in Zhao Ritian's eyes as he clapped his palms together. Instantly, a blazing flame gushed out from his palms. It was like the rising sun, illuminating the mountains and rivers. It contained an incomparably terrifying power. Behind Zhao Ritian, a bright sun appeared and shrouded his entire body. The mysterious and vast flame surged into the pill cauldron, causing the pill cauldron in front of Zhao Ritian to boil. An aura that was not inferior to Zhuo Bufan's erupted from Zhao Ritian's body. "That's Master Ling Xiao? What kind of flame did he summon? How can it compete with the mystical heaven origin fire?" Someone trembled as he looked at Zhao Ritian in disbelief. The flame that Zhao Ritian summoned contained an ancient, vast, and mysterious aura. It was not inferior to the mystical heaven origin fire at all. It was competing with the mystical heaven origin fire in the void, illuminating the entire void. However, what shocked everyone was that they could not recognize the flame at all. It's not the origin fire. The origin fire contains the complete origin energy. When it's born, it will cause the heaven and earth to resonate. Although this flame is very strong, it did not cause the heaven and earth to resonate. The heavenly talisman lord's eyes were sharp. He immediately saw the crux of the matter. It's not the origin fire? What kind of flame is that? The sacred flame can't be this strong, right? Everyone was stunned. The sacred sun flame? No. The sacred sun flame can't be this strong. Where did this Ling Xiao come from? Above the void, Sage Tai Yunzi frowned slightly. Another flame that he did not recognize had appeared. He didn't recognize the heaven-devouring fire that Ling Xiao had summoned earlier, but it didn't seem too powerful. Tai Yunzi assumed it was some sort of divine fire or demonic fire. He was just curious, but he didn't care. However, the flame that Zhao Ritian summoned was not any weaker than the celestial origin fire. Even so, he still could not identify its origin. If it's not the sacred sun flame, could it be the legendary extreme? No, it can't be that kind of flame. Master Jiu was also surprised, which was a rare sight. A trace of doubt appeared in his eyes. Rumble. Originally, it could be said that there were hundreds of flowers competing in the void. Everyone displayed thousands of divine abilities and techniques. Flames rose and bloomed with endless brilliance. It could be said that it was a dazzling scene. But now, everyone's attention was on Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan. Regardless of whether it was Zhao Ritian's unknown flame or the mystical heaven origin fire, their pill refinement had become the center of attention. Everyone's eyes were filled with anticipation. How far could Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan, these two heaven's chosen ones, go? Ritian, you're really a prodigal son. This is the extreme emperor fire left behind by the flame emperor. There isn't much of it to begin with. Every time you use it, there will be one less. It's just an alchemy competition. Why did you use the extreme emperor fire? Second uncle, who was in Zhao Ritian's mind, was about to scold him. This was the origin source left behind by the flame emperor in the flame emperor cauldron. Every time it was used, there would be one less. He did not expect Zhao Ritian to summon the flame emperor fire. Second uncle, I must defeat that bastard Ling Xiao in this grand alchemy competition. Otherwise, I have a feeling that I won't be able to become a sage. In fact, if I can use the flame emperor cauldron, I can refine a grade 9 divine pill for them. By then, the champion of the alchemy competition will be mine. Why would there be so much trouble? Zhao Ritian said nonchalantly. Just to defeat Ling Xiao? It seems like that brat has become an obsession in your heart. Oh well, to get rid of the obsession in your heart, it's worth it to waste an emperor fire. Second uncle laughed bitterly and shook his head. Hee hee, second uncle, just you wait. This emperor fire is definitely worth it. Didn't you see that I stole the limelight of the Xiantian origin fire? This time, I must show Ling Xiao my prowess. Zhao Ritian said arrogantly. The speed of refining pills was very slow, especially when refining a flawless divine pill. One needed to be calm and carefully nurture the essence of the spiritual herbs in the cauldron. One even needed to absorb the energy of heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In this 1 month, some alchemists had made mistakes in their operation, causing their alchemy to fail completely. After all, everyone only had one chance this time. Once they failed to refine the pill, it would mean that they were completely eliminated. However, most of the alchemists continued to refine pills. There were still thousands of stone platforms in the void. Almost everyone had reached the final critical moment. It was time to condense the pill. Condensing the pill was the most difficult stage in the process of refining pills. Refining the essence of the spiritual herbs was very basic. As long as one's primordial spirit was strong and one's fire control was good enough, refining the essence of the spiritual herbs was possible. The only difference was whether one could fully utilize the essence of the spiritual herbs. Condensing the pill was to gather the essence of the various spiritual herbs in the cauldron together to form a perfect structure. It was the biggest test for an alchemist. Gotcha. Clear and crisp sounds rang out in the sky. Immediately, the faces of the alchemists on the stone platforms turned ashen. This was because they had failed completely due to their mistakes in the process of condensing the pill. After working hard for a month, they still failed in the end. Rumble. However, the void was suddenly shrouded by dark clouds. Blazing lightning lit up the void, containing boundless destructive power. It locked onto a cauldron and an alchemist. This is the pill tribulation. A divine pill is about to be born. Someone exclaimed. Suddenly, an extremely excited look appeared on his face. The divine pill contained the origin of the great path. Refining a divine pill was like going against the heavens. Once the heavens sensed it, it would naturally send down a powerful lightning tribulation. The fact that the lightning in the void was so fierce meant that someone had refined a divine pill. Everyone looked over and realized that the person who had refined the divine pill was Lu Wenlong. Lu Wenlong formed a seal with his hands. His eyes were dazzling. The cauldron in front of him was emitting a brilliant light. An incomparably vast holy path aura spread out from it. The pill tribulation in the void had sensed that he had successfully condensed the pill in the cauldron. That was why it had come down. Chapter 1896. Gotcha. Dark clouds rolled in the sky and the lightning was dazzling. It was like a thunder dragon rolling in the sky, exuding a vast aura. It locked onto the elixir cauldron in front of Lu Wenlong. Lu Wenlong's elixir cauldron was trembling slightly at this moment. A fragrance filled the air, containing an incomparably mysterious aura. A golden lotus bloomed on top of the elixir cauldron, blooming with 9 lotus petals. It was like a flower of the great Tao, flowing with a gorgeous luster. It's the golden lotus saint elixir? I didn't expect Lu Wenlong to refine the golden lotus saint elixir. Although the golden lotus saint elixir is only a first-grade divine elixir, it is extremely precious. It can purify the primordial spirit and refine the saint force. It even has the possibility of being promoted to a second-grade divine elixir. Heavenly Talisman, Shangren exclaimed. His eyes were filled with astonishment. Previously, all the alchemists had hidden the spiritual herbs they had chosen during the refining process. Therefore, no one had been able to detect the elixir they had refined. However, during the process of condensing the elixir chi leaked out and the fragrance filled the air. Some experienced experts could tell what elixir it was just by looking at this. The golden lotus saint elixir is extremely mysterious and difficult to refine. However, whether it's a first-grade divine elixir or a second-grade divine elixir, depends on how many elixir tribulations are descending. Someone nodded with a hint of anticipation in his eyes. Divine elixirs were divided into 9 grades. A first-grade divine elixir could trigger more than 1 elixir tribulation, 9 elixir tribulations, and 18 elixir tribulations. It was a second-grade divine elixir. Legend had it that the most perfect 9th-grade divine elixir could trigger 81 chaos elixir tribulations. It was perfect and flawless. Even a saint king would not be able to resist fighting against such a divine elixir. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Wenlong. After all, he was the first person to condense the elixir, and also the first person to refine a divine elixir. Lu Wenlong's expression was calm and indifferent. His hands were constantly forming seals. His powerful primordial spirit merged into the elixir cauldron, and merged with the mysterious medicinal liquid. It was as if a golden lotus had bloomed, and even the shape of it appeared on the elixir cauldron. The golden lotus swayed in the wind, looking very lifelike. And in the center of the flower, a bright golden light flickered, as if a pill was about to take shape. The fragrance of the elixir permeated the air as Saint Path origins spread out from the golden lotus, causing the lightning in the void to become even more dazzling. The dense black clouds gave birth to a sense of oppression in everyone's heart. Lu Wenlong's talent in the Tao of alchemy is not bad. He should be able to refine a Tier 2 holy pill, but it's still too risky for him to choose the Golden Lotus holy pill. Tai Yunzi's eyes flashed as he slowly said, "You're overestimating yourself. The Golden Lotus Saint Pill is not an ordinary saint pill. After all, he is only a 9-star alchemist grandmaster. It is too risky. Xiao Hong said expressionlessly. Risk? How could he stand out if he didn't take risks? I think Lu Wenlong's strategy is not bad, as long as he can refine a Golden Lotus Holy Dan, and also the preciousness of a Golden Lotus Holy Dan. If no one can refine a Tier 3 Holy Pellet, then he will be the champion. Master Jiu smiled faintly. Although he had taken Lu Qingwan as his disciple, he was very impressed with Lu Wenlong's temperament. Perhaps Lu Qingwan's talent was not inferior to Lu Wenlong's, but his temperament was still slightly inferior. Since senior brother Jiu thinks so highly of Lu Wenlong, I think Lu Wenlong will definitely be able to refine a Tier 2 Golden Lotus Holy Pill. Tai Yunzi chuckled softly. That might not be the case. Xiao Hong said faintly. Boom. While the three sages were talking, Lu Wenlong's alchemy cauldron spewed out a dazzling golden glow. In an instant, a golden elixir soared into the sky, containing an incomparably mysterious spirituality. It was like a golden lotus that bloomed in the void. The Golden Lotus Holy Pill had condensed. However, the moment the Golden Lotus Holy Pill condensed, the pill tribulation that had been accumulating in the void for a long time also descended. A black thunderbolt that was as thick as a water bucket traversed the heavens and the earth, containing an incomparably powerful destructive force. The vast pressure was not weaker than the legendary Saint Tribulation, causing everyone to involuntarily focus their eyes. Crack! The black thunderbolt struck the Golden Lotus Holy Pill directly, and the incomparably terrifying destructive force seemed to want to turn the Golden Lotus Holy Pill into dust. However, the Golden Lotus Saint Elixir buzzed in the void, emitting a strange light. The golden light collided with the lightning, and sparks filled the air. The powerful lightning power directly integrated into the Golden Lotus Saint Elixir, making the Golden Lotus Saint Elixir's spirituality stronger. Boom. 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 The first pill tribulation did not do anything to the Golden Lotus Holy Pill, but the second, third, and fourth pill tribulation descended. The void seemed to have turned into a blazing sea of thunderbolts, containing an incomparably powerful pressure. It was incomparably terrifying. Thunderbolts traversed the heavens and the earth, striking the Golden Lotus Holy Pill. However, not only did the Golden Lotus Holy Pill not show any signs of shattering, but it also shone even more brightly, filled with spirituality. As the pill tribulation descended, the Golden Lotus Holy Pill passed through 8 pill tribulations, but the sea of thunderbolts in the void showed no signs of dissipating. Could it be that this Golden Lotus Holy Pill is really going to be promoted to a Tier 2 Holy Pill? Everyone could not help but have the same thought, and their gazes became incomparably solemn. Under normal circumstances, a 9-star alchemy grandmaster could only refine a top-notch half-saint elixir. With a powerful saint flame, a special alchemy technique, and the origin saint elixir, there was a chance to refine a Tier 1 Holy Pill, but the success rate was not high. Previously, everyone had only guessed that the Golden Lotus Holy Pill that Lu Wenlong had refined was only a Tier 1 Holy Pill, but they did not expect it to look like a Tier 2 Holy Pill. This kind of stunning alchemy talent made everyone incomparably shocked and impressed. Boom. The 9th pill tribulation descended. The thunderbolt was dazzling, but it still did not damage the Golden Lotus Holy Pill. Next was the 10th pill tribulation. The 10th pill tribulation was obviously stronger than the 9th. The thunderbolt contained a crimson color, and it looked extremely oppressive. When it struck the Golden Lotus Holy Pill, it was as if a blazing flame had erupted. However, what made everyone feel relieved was that the Golden Lotus Holy Pill had passed through the 10th pill tribulation, as expected of the Lu family's Dragon Phoenix. This Lu Wenlong's talent in alchemy is probably not weaker than the Mountain Master's disciple, Zhuo Bufan. Someone exclaimed in surprise. That's right. It's a pity that Lu Wenlong doesn't have the origin fire. Otherwise, the Golden Lotus Holy Pill might be able to be promoted to a Tier 3 Holy Pill. However, with the Golden Lotus Holy Pill alone, even if he can't become the alchemy champion, it won't be a problem for him to enter the top 10. It's still a pity. Chapter 1897. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he noticed Lu Wenlong's Golden Lotus Saint Elixir. He muttered to himself, Golden Lotus Saint Elixir? Lu Wenlong's talent in alchemy is indeed strong. It's a pity that the Golden Lotus hasn't formed the 3 talents of heaven, earth, and man otherwise. A grade 3 or grade 4 divine elixir wouldn't be a problem. I'm afraid this Golden Lotus Saint Elixir can only go through 16 pill tribulations at most. Ling Xiao had obtained the inheritance of the Hunyuan alchemy saint and the Sun Moon alchemy sect. It was as if he had all the memories and experience of an alchemy saint. However, he knew that he couldn't force it. Even an ordinary alchemy saint might not be able to form the 3 talents of heaven, earth, and man, let alone Lu Wenlong. Rumble. Although the pill tribulation in the void was extremely hot and contained an extremely powerful pressure, the stone platforms that the alchemists were sitting on all released a powerful defensive barrier that protected them from the interference of the lightning tribulation. When Lu Wenlong's Golden Lotus Saint Elixir went through the 15th pill tribulations, the sea of lightning in the void began to weaken. When the 16th pill tribulations came, the sea of lightning in the void had completely disappeared. 16 pill tribulations and a grade 2 Golden Lotus Saint Elixir. This is the limit I can reach now. It's a pity. If I can go through 2 more pill tribulations, it will be complete grade 2. Lu Wenlong nodded with a trace of pity in his eyes. After a month of nonstop alchemy, Lu Wenlong's face was still full of fatigue despite his profound cultivation and strong primordial spirit. Swoosh. When the Golden Lotus Saint Elixir went through the 16th pill tribulations, it wanted to fly away. Lu Wenlong instantly caught it in his hand and put it in a jade box that he had prepared beforehand. He then handed it to an elder of Pill Seal Mountain. Lu Wenlong's mentality was very good. He knew that he had done his best, so he didn't have any regrets. He looked very calm and only glanced at Ling Xiao before leaving the stone platform. Although Lu Wenlong knew that Zhuo Bufan and Zhao Ritian were the most likely to win the Grand Alchemy competition, he was still filled with a special feeling towards Ling Xiao. It was as if Ling Xiao could create a miracle. Rumble. Following Lu Wenlong's success, the lightning in the void was dazzling as many alchemists began to condense their elixirs. A month's time was enough for them to refine the pills that they wanted to refine. However, most of the alchemists were not as amazing as Lu Wenlong. Half of the alchemists had only refined a half-saint pill, and the other half had only passed 2 or 3 pill tribulations even though they had refined a saint pill. Such a divine pill could only be considered as a low-grade divine pill, even among Tier 1 divine pills. Its quality was not high. Within the pill cauldron in front of Ling Xiao, a resplendent galaxy floated. At this moment, the hundreds of spiritual herbs had turned into hundreds of stars, revolving in the starry sky, emitting bright starlight, looking mysterious and unfathomable. Elixirs XSS Divine 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 Elixirs. Saint Elixirs Saint Divine Elixirs Divine Divine Saint Elixirs Divine. Elixirs Divine. These hundreds of stars formed a very mysterious star atlas. They slowly revolved around each other as they absorbed and devoured Zhou Tian's energy. In the end, traces of purple qi were emitted and gathered above the sun in the center. Over the past month, Ling Xiao had used the devouring fire to refine these hundreds of elixirs divine elixirs as he guarded the star atlas in front of him. Although Ling Xiao could have condensed his elixirs long ago, he still did not choose to do so. Ling Xiao's hands quickly formed a seal. At the same time, he channeled a huge amount of primordial spirit power into the elixir tribulations. He split it into hundreds of streams, and carefully observed the movements of the hundreds of stars. In order to refine the Saint Spirit elixir, Ling Xiao focused all his attention on the elixir tribulations. He even used the alchemy technique that Hunyuan Alchemy Saint used to refine the Hunyuan Golden Elixir. Celestial Star Convergence Technique. This was the method that Hunyuan Alchemy Saint used to refine the Hunyuan Golden Elixir. It was also an extremely ancient method. After refining the essence of the elixir tribulations, it condensed into a star atlas and cast down a mysterious formation. It would produce a mysterious connection with the stars above and absorb their energy at the same time. That way, not only would the essence of the elixir tribulations be pushed to the limit, but it would also be tainted with some transcendental qi. By fusing with the energy of the stars, the pills refined in the end would often possess extremely mysterious effects. At the same time, Ling Xiao used a heaven-shrouding secret technique to conceal the presence of the celestial star convergence technique. As a result, no one noticed what alchemy technique he used. After devouring the energy of the stars for almost a month, Ling Xiao could sense that the hundreds of stars were almost full. Once they were completely full, and could no longer devour the energy of the stars, it would be time for Ling Xiao to condense his elixir. Boom! Boom! Suddenly, two loud rumbles were heard, and two extremely vast and majestic thunderclouds appeared in the void. Another elixir tribulation had descended, and it was two huge elixir tribulations. Everyone's eyes flashed. They found that Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong had condensed their elixirs at the same time. Two bright elixirs, one black and one white, rose into the sky. In an instant, two extremely terrifying elixir tribulations descended. Xiao Rui refined the black jade rejuvenation pill. This is a very ordinary elixir pill. It can heal extremely serious physical injuries, and also has a miraculous effect on the injuries of the primordial spirit. It should be able to become a second-grade elixir pill. I just don't know how many elixir tribulations it can cross. Someone recognized the elixir refined by Xiao Rui and said slowly. In comparison, Huang Xuanzong refined the Xian Pure Saint elixir pill. This is a saint elixir that can increase the strength of the primordial spirit, and even reshape the Tao foundation. I just don't know if it can become a first-grade or second-grade elixir pill. Although Huang Xuanzong's martial arts talent is good, he is still inferior to Xiao Rui in terms of alchemy talent. Yes, I think the Xian Pure Saint elixir pill is only a first-grade elixir pill. Everyone looked at the thunderclouds above the void and commented. Although Huang Xuanzong was the saint son of the five elements saint sect and had extraordinary strength, this was a competition of alchemy. Many disciples of the Pill Talisman Mountain regarded the Pill Talisman Mountain as the holy land of alchemy and talisman in the world. Naturally, they wouldn't have a high evaluation of Huang Xuanzong. Rumble. Elixir tribulations descended one after another. The Black Jade Rejuvenation Pill and the Xian Pure Saint elixir pill were both undergoing elixir tribulations. Moreover, the elixir tribulations became more and more dazzling. Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong's eyes were full of anticipation, especially when they saw that the Golden Lotus Saint elixir refined by Lu Wenlong had actually crossed 16 elixir tribulations. Xiao Rui's heart was even more stifled. He wanted to defeat Lu Wenlong. Chapter 1898. However, Huang Xuanzong knew that his alchemy skills had already exceeded his expectations. Hence, he did not say much. Boom. The Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir that Xiao Rui had refined had passed through the 10th and 11th pill tribulations. When the 14th pill tribulation descended, Xiao Rui's eyes flashed. He could clearly see that the thundercloud had weakened a little. His heart sank. Damn it. I can't lose to Lu Wenlong. Xiao Rui's face turned extremely ugly as he prayed in his heart. The Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir that he had refined was originally easier to refine than the Golden Lotus Saint elixir. If the number of pill tribulations that he had passed was less than the Golden Lotus Saint elixir, he would really be embarrassed. At this moment, even Xiao Hong, who was in the void, could not help but frown. Obviously, he was a little dissatisfied with Xiao Rui's performance. Boom. When the 15th pill tribulation descended, the thundercloud in the void seemed to be about to dissipate. This made Xiao Rui's eyes twitch as his heart sank. Rumble. However, for some reason, the thundercloud suddenly trembled slightly. Before it disappeared, another pill tribulation descended from the void and blasted directly on the Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir. The 16th pill tribulation descended. The Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir had finally passed through the 16th pill tribulation. It was barely a draw with Lu Wenlong. This made Xiao Rui's face look better. Otherwise, he would really be too ashamed to face anyone. Even so, the Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir was not as valuable as the Golden Lotus Saint elixir. Compared to Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui was still slightly inferior. Master Jiu could not help but frown. He stared at Xiao Hong and said, "Junior brother Xiao, you are openly helping Xiao Rui. Do you really think that I don't exist?" With Master Jiu's eyesight, how could he not see it? The Black Jade Rejuvenation Elixir could only pass through the 15th Pill Tribulation. However, because Xiao Hong had secretly intercepted part of the Heaven and Earth Essence Qi and integrated it into the Thunder Sea, it triggered the 16th Pill Tribulation. Although Xiao Hong had done it very secretly and even deceived many alchemists below, he naturally could not hide it from Master Jiu, who was also a sage. Senior brother Jiu must be joking. I did not help Xiao Rui. It was just a coincidence, Xiao Hong said lightly. His expression was very calm, as if he really did not do it. Xiao Hong, you dare to do it but don't dare to admit it? Master Jiu frowned, and a sharp glint appeared in his eyes. Seeing that Master Jiu was getting angry, Tai Yunzi laughed bitterly and said, Senior brother Jiu, junior brother Xiao, please calm down. Don't let others see you as a joke. This is the Pill Talisman ceremony. After hearing Tai Yunzi's words, Master Wine stared at Xiao Hong for a while before he said coldly, Don't let this happen again. If I find out that you've made a move again, don't blame me for being rude. Senior brother Jiu, you must have seen wrongly. I didn't do anything. A clean conscience is not afraid of false accusations. Xiao Hong smiled faintly. He didn't admit that he had made a move. Master Jiu wanted to say something, but his eyes narrowed. He saw a bright golden light shooting up into the sky from afar. Rumble. The cauldron in front of Zhao Ritian gushed with multicolored light. It looked dazzling. A golden pill flew out from the cauldron, exuding an incomparably mysterious saint aura. Is it the Sun Saint pill? Master Jiu's eyes flashed. His attention was completely attracted by Zhao Ritian. The golden pill was like a golden divine sun that shot up into the sky. It exuded an ancient and mysterious aura, as if it was filled with flames. In the pill, one could faintly see the shadow of a three-legged golden crow. It spat out endless flames, as if it could burn the heavens and destroy the earth. This was the legendary Sun Saint pill, which contained the origin energy of the fire attribute. Moreover, the aura that this Sun Saint elixir emitted when it was born was far superior to ordinary saint elixirs. Even Lu Wenlong's Golden Lotus Saint elixir and Xiao Rui's Black Jade Rejuvenation elixir were inferior. Rumble. The Sun Saint pill shone brightly. As soon as it appeared in the void, the wind and clouds in the sky surged. The lightning was dazzling. Thick thunderbolts were like mountains. Finally, they gathered to form a powerful pill tribulation that descended. When the pill tribulation landed on the Sun Saint pill, it didn't even make the Sun Saint pill tremble. The Sun Saint pill absorbed the mysterious thunderbolts contained within. Rumble, 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 one after another, the pill tribulations fell from the sky. The void seemed to have turned into a sea of lightning. The Sun Saint pill shone brightly, illuminating the entire area. This Sun Saint pill is probably going to be a second-grade divine pill that has survived 18 lightning tribulations. Someone exclaimed in surprise. 17 consecutive pill tribulations fell, but the Sun Saint pill didn't change at all. It only shone more brightly, and the shadow of the three-legged golden crow looked like it was about to fly out of the pill. A second-grade divine pill? I think the potential of this Sun Saint pill isn't limited to this. It might even become a third-grade divine pill. Heavenly Talisman Taoist's eyes flashed as he said slowly. A third-grade divine pill. After hearing Heavenly Talisman Taoist's words, everyone couldn't help but gasp. Even an ordinary alchemy saint would find it difficult to refine a third-grade divine pill. Was Zhao Ritian stronger than an ordinary alchemy saint? Was he still a 9-star alchemy grandmaster? Where did this guy called Ling Xiao come from? We didn't recognize the strange flame from before. However, its power isn't any weaker than the celestial origin fire. Now that he has refined a Sun Saint pill of such quality, how can we live? Everyone laughed bitterly in their hearts. They were completely shocked by Zhao Ritian. Rumble. At the same time, beside Zhao Ritian, a dazzling ray of light rose up. It was filled with 7-colored light and looked dazzling. Its aura was strong and unparalleled. It was not weaker than Zhao Ritian's Saint Sun elixir at all. It's Shuobufan. Someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with excitement. Shuobufan was the disciple of the Pill Talisman Mountain Master. He was a supreme genius in the alchemy Dao and Talisman Dao. He possessed the celestial origin fire, and was known as the person who had the highest chance of becoming the Alchemy Dao champion in this year's pill talisman ceremony. Naturally, Zhuo Bufan was the center of attention. Now that he had condensed his pill, everyone was excited. Rumble. The 7-colored divine light was dazzling. The pill emitted a 7-colored light, and a mysterious fragrance filled the air. Everyone couldn't help but be intoxicated. They felt like they were floating, and their primordial spirits became clearer. What kind of divine pill is this? Someone asked. He couldn't recognize this divine pill at all. However, he knew that this divine pill was definitely extraordinary and terrifying. Could this be that kind of divine pill? Heavenly Talisman Taoist's body trembled. He seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with excitement and disbelief. His voice involuntarily rose a few octaves. Chapter 1899. Zhuo Bufan was dressed in snow-white robes. His black hair hung loosely behind his head. His temperament was otherworldly, and he had a divine aura. He had a faint smile on his lips, and his eyes were as bright as the stars. A pill floated in the void in front of him. It emitted a 7-colored light and had a mysterious luster. It seemed to have formed a mysterious connection with the stars in the 9 heavens. Beams of starlight descended and merged into the pill. The pill became more and more ancient, and its aura became more and more unfathomable. Esteemed Lord, what kind of pill is this? Someone asked curiously. Although there were many alchemists and talisman masters here, most of them did not recognize what pill Zhuo Bufan was refining. 7-star Sacred Heart Pill. Heavenly Talisman Esteemed Lord took a deep breath and said solemnly, "What? It's actually the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill? The 7-star Sacred Heart Pill, that is said to be able to merge the power of the 7 stars and cleanse one's inner demons?" Someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with disbelief. The 7-star Sacred Heart Pill was a sacred pill from ancient times. Legend had it that when the pill was condensed, it could absorb the essence of the 7 stars of the Big Dipper. It could cleanse one's inner demons and allow one to enter the state of enlightenment. One had to know that in order to become a saint, one had to go through many difficulties and dangers. The inner demons were even more terrifying. The slightest carelessness could lead to eternal damnation. The 7-star Sacred Heart Pill was a supreme sacred pill created by the ballistic Holy Land in ancient times. However, legend had it that it had long been lost. Who would have thought that Zhuo Bufan would refine it? I didn't expect that Pill Talisman Mountain would have the pill formula for the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill. Now, I'm afraid that the 12 immortal Holy Lands will not be able to remain calm. By then, with the help of the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill, Pill Talisman Mountain's status will be able to take another step forward. Heavenly Talisman Esteemed Lord exclaimed. Take another step forward? Pill Talisman Mountain is now the #1 sect below the 12 immortal Holy Lands. If they take another step forward, won't they be ranked among the 12 immortal Holy Lands? Someone exclaimed. Many people didn't dare to believe it, but they weren't fools. They knew that Zhuo Bufan had planned to concoct the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill. Maybe this alchemy talisman ceremony was held to let Zhuo Bufan shine. In comparison, although the Holy Sun Pill was also very precious, it was inferior to the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill. After all, the Holy Sun Pill did not have the effect of increasing one's Tao and becoming a saint. Looks like Zhuo Bufan is destined to be the alchemy champion this time. Someone lamented. They gradually came to understand that Zhuo Bufan was the most important person in the alchemy talisman ceremony. Even if they took out the origin source flame, it would still fall into Zhuo Bufan's hands in the end. Zhuo Bufan will definitely win this alchemy competition. In the void, Xiao Hong's eyes flashed as he said faintly, "It's actually a 7-star Sacred Heart Pill? What a guy. I didn't think that Senior Brother Mountain Chieftain would be able to fool us as well. But then again, once the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill is born, it's true that no one can defeat martial nephew Zhua." Tai Yunzi smiled bitterly. "That's not necessarily true," Master Jiu said slowly as he stared at the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill for a while. "Oh, Senior Brother Jiu, do you think that there is someone who can defeat martial nephew Zhua?" Tai Yunzi asked curiously. The 7-star Sacred Heart Pill is an ancient elixir. It is extremely difficult to refine it. Zhuo Bufan is only a 9-star alchemy grandmaster and has not stepped into the realm of an alchemy saint. Even if he has the celestial origin source flame, I'm afraid that he can only refine a grade 3 divine elixir at most. As long as someone can refine a grade 4 divine elixir, they will be able to defeat him. Master Gio said slowly. A grade 4 divine elixir? Senior brother Gio, you make it sound so easy. Even an ordinary alchemy saint would find it difficult to refine a grade 4 divine elixir. Although a grade 3 divine elixir and a grade 4 divine elixir only differ by 1 grade, the actual difference is like heaven and earth. I don't think that anyone can refine a grade 4 divine elixir. Xiaohong laughed coldly. Tai Yunzi thought for a while and nodded. That's right. Senior brother Gio, although some of these alchemy masters are talented, it is impossible for them to refine a grade 4 divine elixir. Is that so? Let's just wait and see. Master Gio smiled faintly and did not argue. Rumble. In front of Zhuo Bufan, the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill also began to face the pill tribulation. Bolts of lightning fell from the 9 heavens. They looked extremely dazzling and contained an extremely terrifying aura. Its power was even stronger than the pill tribulation triggered by the Sun Saint elixir. At this moment, Zhuo Bufan had become the center of attention. 7-star Sacred Heart Pill? So what if it is a 7-star Sacred Heart Pill? I, Zhao Ritian, am the alchemy champion. Zhao Ritian glanced at Zhuo Bufan, who was beside him. His expression was ugly. He could feel the threat from Zhuo Bufan. The 7-star Sacred Heart Pill was indeed more valuable than the Sun Saint elixir. If both of them refine grade 2 divine elixir, the Sun Saint elixir would definitely not be comparable to the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill. If Zhao Ritian wanted to win against Zhuo Bufan, he had to make the Sun Saint elixir exceed the 7-star Sacred Heart Pill by 1 grade. Whoosh. Zhao Ritian's eyes revealed a hint of pain. A wisp of golden flame shot out from his fingertip. In an instant, it turned into a golden rune and directly merged into the Sun Saint elixir. Rumble. The Sun Saint elixir seemed to be boiling. The surrounding flames rose up, blazing and dazzling. It contained a destructive energy fluctuation, as if it wanted to destroy everything around it. The Sun Saint elixir was like a heart. It floated in the sea of flames, continuously devouring Zhou Tian's energy. It became more and more mysterious and powerful. Bolts of lightning fell, enveloping the Sun Saint elixir. Because Zhao Ritian's actions were very subtle, and the flames in the alchemy cauldron had been surrounding the Sun Saint elixir, no one noticed Zhao Ritian's little movements. You bastard, you actually used another wisp of extreme earthly fire? You prodigal son. Second uncle was so angry that he cursed. He wanted to go up and beat Zhao Ritian up. Second uncle, the alchemy champion this time will definitely be me. Zhao Ritian said stubbornly. His eyes became brighter and brighter. Rumble. However, at this moment, another bright light burst out. The void trembled violently. Above the 9 heavens, dark clouds were tumbling, covering everything. Only bolts of lightning could be seen. However, at this moment, hundreds of bright stars appeared. Mysterious pillars of starlight fell, surging into the alchemy cauldron below. What's that? Someone exclaimed in surprise. Chapter 1900. Amidst the dazzling galaxy, the endless power of the stars surged into an alchemy cauldron. A golden flame burned within the cauldron, emitting a clear and ethereal aura. A young man in white sat cross-legged in front of the alchemy cauldron. His expression was focused as he slammed his palms on the cauldron, producing rhythmic sounds. It's Zhao Ritian. Everyone's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. They did not expect Ling Xiao to cause such a huge commotion, even before he condensed the pill. This made them even more curious about the pill that Ling Xiao was refining. What kind of pill is Zhao Ritian refining? Why is there such a huge commotion? Everyone's hearts were filled with doubts. The alchemy cauldron in front of Ling Xiao was emitting a strange fluctuation that made them feel comfortable all over. It was as if all the pores on their bodies had opened up, making them feel as if they were floating in the air. Esteemed Lord, Do you recognize what kind of pill this is? Someone looked at the heavenly talisman, esteemed lord, and asked. The heavenly talisman, esteemed lord, took a closer look and laughed bitterly. This pill is very strange. I'm not very sure either. However, it looks like an ancient pill. Perhaps we will know the answer after the pill is condensed. Even with the heavenly talisman, esteemed lord's vast knowledge, he was still unable to identify the pill that Ling Xiao was refining. This made everyone even more curious. Rumble. Suddenly, the alchemy cauldron erupted with an extremely powerful devouring force. The starlight in the sky was instantly devoured by the cauldron like a whale swallowing the sea. Golden rays of light shot out from the alchemy cauldron. In an instant, a dazzling golden pill shot out from the alchemy cauldron and floated in the void. What kind of pill is that? Everyone could not help but look at it. The golden pill in the void looked as if it was cast from gold. It flowed with a brilliant golden light and looked extremely mysterious. A faint spiritual mist was enshrouding it, and a clear sound could be heard faintly from it. It was very pleasant to the ears, and it emitted a kind of rhythm. Following the rhythm, everyone felt their breathing and primordial spirits become calm. It was as if they had fallen into a tranquil state of mind. It was extremely mysterious. However, no one could recognize what kind of pill it was. Everyone couldn't help but look at Heavenly Talisman Shangren. Heavenly Talisman, esteemed lord, was stunned for a long time, and he couldn't help but blush. He smiled bitterly and said, I don't know what kind of pill this is, but it must be an ancient saint pill. Everyone couldn't help but curse silently. Wasn't this nonsense? Terrifying thunderclouds had already condensed in the void. Bolts of lightning fell from the 9 heavens. Such a powerful pill tribulation was undoubtedly a saint pill. However, what shocked everyone was that Ling Xiao had concocted such an incredible holy pill that even the heavenly talisman exalted lord couldn't recognize it. This fellow really surprises me every time. Lin Shi also widened her eyes, her face filled with disbelief. Although she could not tell what kind of pill Ling Xiao was refining, she could tell that it was a pill that did not lose out to the Sun Saint pill. I've already said that the champion of the alchemy competition this time will definitely be Big Brother Zhao Ritian. Little Monk said happily. Rumble. Lightning fell from the sky. Although many people in the void had concocted saint pills and attracted the power of the pill tribulation, everyone's gaze fell on Zhao Ritian, Zhuo Bufan, and Ling Xiao. This was because the saint pills that the three of them had concocted were the most powerful. It's actually the saint spirit pill? No wonder they couldn't recognize it. It's actually an ancient pill that doesn't lose out to the 7-star sacred heart pill. How did he get the recipe for the saint spirit pill? Master Jiu stared at the golden pill in front of Ling Xiao for a while, and said in disbelief, Saint spirit pill. Could it be the saint spirit pill that's said to be able to transform the primordial spirit and merge it with the great Tao? It's said to be able to fuse with the origin energy and help one become a saint? After hearing Master Jiu's words, Tai Yunzi's face was also filled with shock. That's right. Although the saint spirit pill and the 7-star sacred heart pill can increase the chances of becoming a saint, the saint spirit pill is more precious than the 7-star sacred heart pill. Master Jiu nodded and said, although it's true that it's the saint spirit pill, Zhao Ritian's cultivation is only at the 2nd revolution half-saint realm. Moreover, he doesn't have the origin energy. I'm afraid that even if he can refine the saint spirit pill, it'll at most be a grade 1 saint pill. Xiao Hong's eyes flashed as he said lightly, let's wait for the results. Master Jiu smiled faintly and said non-committally. He was filled with curiosity about Ling Xiao. Although he knew that Ling Xiao's cultivation wasn't strong, for some reason, he had a kind of anticipation in his heart. Perhaps Ling Xiao could really create a miracle. Rumble. Pill tribulations fell one after another. In the blink of an eye, Zhao Ritian's Saint Sun pill had gone through 18 pill tribulations. Then the 19th pill tribulation fell. A grade 3 saint pill. Ling Xiao actually refined a grade 3 Saint Sun pill. Everyone exclaimed. Although they had already guessed it, they still found it unbelievable. Zhuo Bufan's 7-star sacred heart pill has also gone through 16 pill tribulations. Ling Xiao and Zhuo Bufan are both rare alchemy geniuses. I think after the alchemy talisman ceremony, Ling Xiao might be taken in by the alchemy talisman mountain. Hee, that depends on whether Ling Xiao agrees or not. Who knows, he might be the successor of some hidden sect. Everyone was discussing animatedly, their eyes filled with incomparable anticipation. At this point in the Grand Alchemy competition, the pinnacle of the competition had finally arrived. Everyone had no doubt that the champion of the Grand Alchemy competition would be between Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan. Moreover, Zhuo Bufan had the highest possibility of winning. As for Ling Xiao, although he had refined the Saint Spirit Pill, because his cultivation was too weak and he didn't have a powerful flame, not many people paid attention to him. However, as the pill tribulations fell, the Saint Spirit Pill had also gone through 6 pill tribulations. Ritian, Ling Xiao is refining the Saint Spirit Pill from the primordial era. You have to be careful. Second Master's voice rang in Zhao Ritian's mind. Zhao Ritian's face froze. He stared at the Saint Spirit Pill in front of Ling Xiao and said in surprise, "It's the Saint Spirit Pill? I didn't expect him to have such high attainments in alchemy. However, his cultivation is too weak. He won't be able to defeat me." "That's not necessarily true. Don't fail miserably," Second Master said. "Don't worry. My Saint Sun Pill can definitely be refined into a grade 4 Saint Pill," Zhao Ritian said confidently. Boom, boom, boom. Chapter 1901. It's already the 26th pill tribulation. Why is it still showing signs of stopping? Who is this Zhao Ritian? Zhuo Bufan, who was not far away, was also paying attention to the Sun Saint Elixir. However, when the 26th pill tribulation descended, even Zhuo Bufan could not remain calm. After Zhuo Bufan's 7-star Sacred Heart Elixir passed through the 24th pill tribulation, the pill tribulation actually showed signs of dissipating. However, Zhao Ritian's pill tribulation was still blazing. Although the 7-star Sacred Heart Elixir was more precious than the Sun Saint Elixir, that was under the condition that they were of the same grade. If the Sun Saint Elixir's grade surpassed the 7-star Sacred Heart Elixir, Zhuo Bufan would really lose. "I can't lose." Zhuo Bufan's eyes flashed coldly as he took a deep breath. When the 27th pill tribulation descended, Zhuo Bufan finally saw the pill tribulation above the Sun Saint Elixir, showing signs of dissipating. He could not help but feel elated. If the Sun Saint Elixir could stop here, it would only be a 3rd-grade sacred elixir. Zhuo Bufan knew the huge difference between a 3rd-grade sacred elixir and a 4th-grade sacred elixir. Boom. However, suddenly, an earth-shattering sound exploded in the void. The lightning in the sky gathered together and formed a silver-white thunderbolt. It descended from the void and landed on the Sun Saint Elixir. The Sun Saint Elixir suddenly emitted a blazing light. Endless flames rose and the mysterious 3-legged golden crow flew out from the Sun Saint Elixir. The silver-white thunderbolt contained an incomparably terrifying destructive power. It collided with the 3-legged golden crow, and an earth-shattering divine light exploded. Chirp! The 3-legged golden crow seemed to have come alive. It let out an incomparably clear cry and exploded in an instant. Then, it mixed with the endless flames and the silver-white thunderbolt and blended directly into the Sun Saint Elixir. The Sun Saint Elixir trembled violently and made a buzzing sound. However, it still withstood the power of the attack in the end. The 28th pill tribulation. This also meant that the Sun Saint Elixir had advanced to a 4th-grade sacred elixir. That was close. Zhao Ritian heaved a sigh of relief. He secretly wiped his forehead and said with some lingering fear, originally, with Zhao Ritian's alchemy skills, even if he had the extreme earth fire, being able to refine a grade 3 sacred pill was his limit. After all, the difference between a grade 3 sacred pill and a grade 4 sacred pill was too big. However, Zhao Ritian was unwilling to admit defeat. In order to win against Zhuo Bufan, he did not hesitate to activate a wisp of the extreme earthly fire's power, forcefully pushing the Sun Saint pill into a tier 4 divine pill. It was Zhuo Bufan's turn to be dumbfounded. A 4th-grade divine pill. How is this possible? Everyone was stunned, their eyes filled with disbelief. A mere 9-star alchemy grandmaster was able to refine a 4th-grade sacred pill. This was simply unimaginable, but it did happen right in front of everyone's eyes. A 4th grade sacred sun elixir. If Zhuobuffan can't refine a 4th grade sacred elixir, I'm afraid he'll lose even if it's a 7-star sacred heart elixir. Everyone looked at Zhuobuffan worriedly. Boom. After Zhuobuffan's 7-star sacred heart elixir had passed through the 25th pill tribulation, the thunderclouds in the void began to dissipate. After all, the 7-star sacred heart elixir was too precious and difficult to refine. It was already not easy for Zhuobuffan to reach such a stage. I won't lose, Zhuobuffan said word by word, his eyes revealing a hint of madness. Puff. He suddenly bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a mouthful of blood. He clapped his hands in the void, and the blood emitted a faint golden light, turning into an ancient rune. In an instant, the rune soared into the sky and imprinted itself on the 7-star sacred heart elixir. The 7-star sacred heart elixir trembled slightly, and a majestic aura spread out. The stars in the 9 heavens seemed to light up at this moment. It's not enough. I must win, Zhuobuffan muttered to himself, his eyes filled with madness. Puff. 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 Zhuobuffan spat out another 6 mouthfuls of blood, which turned into runes and imprinted themselves on the 7-star sacred heart elixir. It was as if 7 bright stars had merged with the 7-star sacred heart elixir. Boom. The 7-star sacred heart elixir seemed to have activated some kind of power. In an instant, endless starlight sprinkled down from the void, causing the heavens and earth to tremble violently. The thunderclouds that were about to dissipate gathered again at this moment. The 26th lightning tribulation descended. After Zhuobuffan spat out 7 mouthfuls of blood essence, his face turned as pale as a sheet of paper. However, his eyes were incomparably bright and filled with stubbornness and madness. Zhuobuffan used the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique. This guy is too stubborn, isn't he? Tai Yunzi's face changed, and he said with a wry smile. Although the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique can forcibly raise the grade of an elixir, Zhuobuffan has yet to become a saint. I'm afraid he won't be able to withstand such a powerful backlash from the heavens and earth, Master Jiao said with a sigh. Zhuobuffan placed too much importance on winning or losing. The blood spirit elixir upgrading technique had a huge backlash on the user. It was simply heaven-defying. Even the elixir saints rarely used this secret technique. Master Jiao did not expect Zhuobuffan to be so crazy. Boom. The 27th lightning tribulation liquid descended. However, Zhuobuffan's face was as pale as a sheet of paper. As the vast power of the heavens and earth descended, his entire body shook violently. Is this guy crazy? Isn't the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique just an alchemy champion? Is it worth it for him to go to such lengths? Zhao Ritian was shocked as well. His eyes were filled with disbelief. This guy seems to have a special obsession with being the champion. The second uncle asked curiously. What a lunatic. At most, I'll give you the championship. Zhao Ritian muttered. Boom. Finally, when the 20th lightning tribulation liquid descended, Zhuobuffan was covered in blood. His entire body was dyed red, but his eyes were filled with madness. He suddenly leaped up and grabbed the 7-star sacred heart elixir in his hand. Ah! 4th grade 7-star sacred heart elixir. I won. Zhuobuffan laughed loudly. However, before he could finish his sentence, he fainted and fell from the sky. The backlash from the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique was not easy to withstand. If Zhuobuffan had not cultivated a secret technique, his strength was strong, and he had only triggered 3 elixir tribulations. Otherwise, he would have been turned into dust by the backlash of the Great Path. Chapter 1902. Swoosh. A gray-robed old man appeared in the void with a flash of light around him. He caught Zhuobuffan, who had fainted. The gray-robed elder was Zhuobuffan's subordinate, and had the cultivation of a 9th revolution half-saint. After a careful examination, he realized that Zhuobuffan had only fainted and suffered some minor injuries. He heaved a sigh of relief and brought Zhuobuffan to the side for treatment. The crowd was stunned. Their attention was completely attracted by the 7-star sacred heart elixir. The value of a 4th grade 7-star Sacred Heart elixir had already surpassed the Sun Saint elixir. Zhuo Bufan had finally won against Zhao Ritian. It seems like the champion of the alchemy conference has been decided. It's Zhuo Bufan. Hee, it's true that the goodies should be kept within the family. I knew that Pill Talisman Mountain wouldn't be so kind to take out an origin source flame. It seems like it was prepared for Zhuo Bufan. That Ling Xiao is also very strong. If Zhuo Bufan hadn't used some secret technique to forcefully upgrade the 7-star Sacred Heart elixir to a 4th grade sacred elixir, I'm afraid that Ling Xiao would have won. The crowd discussed animatedly with different expressions. However, they were all certain that Zhuo Bufan would be the champion of the alchemy conference this time. This bastard is really cruel to himself. He even used the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique. Zhao Ritian, will let you be the champion. Zhao Ritian muttered gloomily. It was difficult for even an ordinary alchemy saint to refine a 4th grade 7-star Sacred Heart elixir. However, Zhuo Bufan had done it. This was beyond Zhao Ritian's expectations. Look, the Saint Spirit elixir that Zhao Ritian refined has already gone through 16 pill tribulations. Suddenly someone exclaimed. His voice was filled with disbelief. What? The crowd couldn't help but tremble as they quickly looked at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in front of the cauldron with a calm expression. The Saint Spirit elixir before him was shining with golden light as it floated amidst the lightning. Numerous thick pill tribulations fell and exploded with blazing light. No one had expected that the Saint Spirit elixir had already gone through 16 pill tribulations. However, the thunderclouds in the void showed no signs of dissipating. How is this possible? He's only a 2nd revolution half-saint. How can he refine a 2nd grade Saint Spirit elixir? The crowd's eyes were filled with disbelief. The 17th pill tribulation descended. The light was incomparably scorching, containing an incomparably terrifying destructive power, causing the Saint Spirit pill to tremble slightly. However, in the end, the Saint Spirit pill devoured the lightning within the pill tribulation, causing the Saint Spirit pill to become even more dazzling. Master Wine's eyes lit up, and a smile appeared on his face. Xiao Hong's eyes narrowed as he found it hard to believe. He even felt a burning sensation on his face, as though he had been slapped. After all, he had just said that the Saint Spirit elixir that Ling Xiao had refined was only a 1st grade saint elixir. Now, it seemed that the Saint Spirit elixir wasn't even a 2nd grade saint elixir, let alone a 1st grade saint elixir. What puzzled Xiao Hong was that Ling Xiao was only a 2nd revolution half-saint at such a young age. He didn't even have a powerful flame. How could he have such powerful alchemy skills? The Saint Spirit elixir was an ancient elixir. Even if Xiao Hong had the pill formula, it would take him a lot of effort to refine a 3rd grade Saint Spirit elixir. Could it be that Zhao Ritian's alchemy skills were on par with his? Xiao Hong's face darkened at the thought of this. Boom. When the 18th pill tribulations fell, everyone felt their hearts tremble. In the void, the thunderclouds were still blazing. Bolts of lightning coiled around like lightning dragons. The Saint Spirit elixir was as bright and radiant as the sun. Boom. 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 The 19th, 20th, and 21st pill tribulations fell one after another. However, it didn't affect the Saint Spirit elixir at all. It's already a 3rd grade Saint Spirit elixir. Could it be that this guy is also trying to refine a 4th grade saint elixir? Lin Qi stared intently at Ling Xiao, her voice unconsciously trembling. She had thought that Zhuo Bufan was destined to be the champion. However, it seemed that the outcome was still uncertain. Could Zhao Ritian really create a miracle? The champion will definitely be Brother Zhao Ritian. Little Monk was full of confidence in Ling Xiao as he said happily. Boom. When the 26th pill tribulations fell, the lightning was dazzling. As the lightning merged with the Saint Spirit elixir, the Saint Spirit elixir became even more mysterious and unpredictable. The crowd was almost numb. They didn't dare to imagine where Ling Xiao's limit was. Could it be that Zhao Ritian really wants to refine a 4th grade Saint Spirit elixir? The crowd couldn't help but have the same thought in their minds. No. The lightning clouds are starting to dissipate. It seems like the Saint Spirit elixir will stop at 3rd grade Saint elixir. The heavenly talisman lord's eyes flashed as he said. Everyone was taken aback and looked over. Only then did they realize that the thunderclouds in the sky had indeed become a lot fainter. Moreover, endless lightning was rising. In the end, it all turned into a blazing pill tribulation that descended from the sky. Gotcha. When the 27th pill tribulation landed on the Saint Spirit elixir, the lightning clouds in the sky started to dissipate. 27 pill tribulations and a third-grade saint elixir. Like I said, how could it be so easy to refine a fourth-grade saint elixir? Someone heaved a sigh of relief. A third-grade saint elixir was still acceptable. However, if Ling Xiao managed to refine a fourth-grade saint elixir, it would be hard to say who would be the champion. Xiao Hong also heaved a sigh of relief. He said calmly, even though a third-grade saint spirit elixir isn't bad, it's not going to be the champion. Xiao Hong finally managed to save some face. If Ling Xiao really managed to refine a fourth-grade saint spirit elixir, he would really be embarrassed. The result was something that he could barely accept. Third-grade saint spirit elixir. Chapter 1903. He seemed to have expected this outcome. However, bolts of lightning began to rise from his palm, as if he had summoned the power of the heavens. In an instant, a blazing lightning dragon shot out from his palm and flew towards the Saint Spirit pill. Rumble! The blazing lightning contained the power of the lightning tribulation. In an instant, it enveloped the Saint Spirit pill. Then, traces of tribulation chi began to flow into the Saint Spirit pill. The thunderclouds that were about to dissipate suddenly trembled when they sensed the dense tribulation chi. The void trembled violently as a boundless heavenly might spread out. An incomparably powerful thundercloud gathered together once again. Crack. At this moment, the 28th tribulation chi pill descended. What? How is this possible? Everyone was stunned. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. The thunderclouds had begun to dissipate, which meant that the tribulation chi pill had ended. However, they only saw Ling Xiao unleash a lightning dragon that enveloped the Saint Spirit pill. Then the heavens and earth shook. The thunderclouds in the void gathered once again, and the 28th tribulation chi pill descended. They did not even see what Ling Xiao did before the thunderclouds gathered once again. What kind of secret technique is this? Tai Yunzi's eyes flashed as he exclaimed in shock. The so-called secret technique was a secret technique to raise the grade of the pill. It usually involved the laws of heaven and earth, and was extremely mysterious. Just like Shuo Bufan's blood spirit pill upgrading technique, it used his own blood essence as a guide to resonate with heaven and earth. It forcefully urged the laws of heaven and earth to send down a tribulation chi pill, to raise the grade of the pill. Although Tai Yunzi was a sage, he was unable to recognize what kind of secret technique Ling Xiao was using. This was because Ling Xiao did not use the secret technique at all. He used his own tribulation seed as a foundation. Under the cover of the heaven-shrouding technique, he injected the tribulation chi into the Saint Spirit pill. Under the influence of the tribulation chi, a new tribulation chi was triggered. The tribulation chi was extremely mysterious. It was invisible and intangible. Those who did not cultivate the indestructible saint technique would not be able to sense it. Even if a sage knew of the tribulation chi's existence, he would not be able to detect it unless he was able to. Not to mention, Ling Xiao had also used the heaven-shrouding technique. This Zhao Ritian actually knows the secret technique of pill refinement? I'm afraid even my pill talisman mountain doesn't have such a secret technique. If we can get our hands on it, our pill talisman mountain's strength will definitely increase greatly. A divine light flashed in Xiao Hong's eyes, revealing a trace of passion and greed. The elixir upgrading secret technique was extremely precious. The blood spirit elixir upgrading secret technique was the only one in the entire pill talisman mountain. Moreover, only a few people were qualified to practice it. It was a secret technique that defied the natural order, and was incomparably profound. But now, Xiao Hong had discovered a new secret technique to increase his core. Naturally, he couldn't remain calm. That is, Master Jiu's eyes flickered. He suddenly thought of something, and a strange look appeared in his eyes. Because his attention had always been on Ling Xiao, and his cultivation was far superior to Tai Yunzi and Xiao Hong. He discovered a trace of tribulation qi. He never thought that Ling Xiao would use such a method to force the Saint Spirit Pill to break through. Rumble. Even though Ling Xiao had used tribulation qi to activate the pill tribulation, it still caused a vast amount of heavenly power. The void trembled violently as the heavenly power pressed down on Ling Xiao. It was as if millions of ancient divine mountains were pressing down on him. Ling Xiao couldn't help but tremble as he felt the terrifying pressure. Just 28 pill tribulations isn't enough. Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely bright. As the lightning in his palm rose, a few more strands of tribulation qi silently merged with the Saint Spirit Pill. Boom. The 29th pill tribulation descended. The Saint Spirit Pill began to tremble violently. From the 28th pill tribulation onwards, it turned into silver-white lightning. It contained an extremely terrifying destructive power, as if it wanted to turn everything into dust. Even with Ling Xiao's protection, the Saint Spirit Pill was unable to withstand such terrifying power. Ling Xiao could already feel that if there was another pill tribulation, the Saint Spirit Pill would reach its limit. Again, Ling Xiao's face was a little pale. The majestic pressure pressed down on every inch of his skin, but Ling Xiao still forcibly activated a few more tribulation qi. They directly rushed into the sky and integrated into the Saint Spirit Pill. Crack. The 30th pill tribulation descended. It was an extremely blazing silver lightning. It was extremely terrifying and contained the power to destroy everything. In an instant it lit up the entire world. The vast power of heaven descended. Although the alchemists around Ling Xiao were protected by the boundary of the stone platform, they were still affected. They couldn't help but tremble as if they were struck by lightning. They spat out mouthfuls of blood, and the pills they refined were instantly reduced to dust. No! Miserable cries rang out one after another. The alchemists looked at Ling Xiao with eyes filled with hatred. In an instant, their eyes turned blood red. Among them, Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma were the most miserable. They were the closest to Ling Xiao and were at the crucial moment of condensing their pills. However, before they could start condensing their pills, they felt the terrifying power of heaven descending. Following that, two violent explosions rang out. Rumble. Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma's pill furnaces exploded with a loud bang. A month's worth of effort was wasted in an instant. Master Ziyang and Poison Grandma's faces became extremely ferocious in an instant. Their eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Zhao Ritian, I'm going to kill you, Poison Grandma shrieked. She couldn't hold it in any longer. She leaped up and smashed her huge dragon head walking stick towards Ling Xiao. She was about to go crazy from anger. She had suffered a great loss at Ling Xiao's hands in the small pill talisman realm. However, she didn't expect to be affected by Ling Xiao in the last round of refining pills. Master Ziyang's eyes were also filled with killing intent. The horsetail whisk in his hand scattered 3,000 rays of light, shooting towards the Saint Spirit Pill in the void. The two of them had originally made up their minds to secretly tamper with Ling Xiao's pill refinement at a critical moment, causing Ling Xiao's pill refinement to fail. However, before they could tamper with Ling Xiao's pill refinement, the vast heavenly might that Ling Xiao had drawn over caused them to suffer a great loss. No matter how scheming they were, they couldn't stand it at this moment. Shameless! Lin Shi and Jin Sei's eyes turned cold as they shouted coldly. Chapter 1904. Kill him. You have to kill him. Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong's eyes lit up as they shouted in their hearts. They couldn't wait for Venerable Ziyang and Poison Grandma to kill Ling Xiao. You're courting death. Master Jiu's eyes flashed. Master Ziyang and Poison Granny dared to fight in front of him. They dared to act so recklessly in the ceremony of alchemy talismans. It was a challenge to the dignity of Alchemy Talisman's mountain. He immediately waved his sleeve, and a blazing beam of holy light appeared, blocking Ling Xiao from the two of them. Boom! Just as Venerable Ziyang and Poison Granny were about to injure Ling Xiao, a surge of divine energy erupted and blasted the two of them away. Whoosh! Ling Xiao took the opportunity to leap into the sky. When the 30th pill tribulation dissipated, he grabbed the Saint Spirit Pill in his palm. The Saint Spirit Pill buzzed in Ling Xiao's palm. as if it had a spiritual nature. The resplendent golden glow dyed Ling Xiao's entire body gold, and the mysterious fragrance caused Ling Xiao to feel refreshed, as if all the exhaustion in his body had disappeared at this moment. The lightning that filled the sky slowly dissipated. Ling Xiao stood in the air. His robe was whiter than snow. The Saint Spirit Pill was dazzling, making him look even more mysterious. After a month of sleepless alchemy, coupled with the last few alchemy tribulations, Ling Xiao felt very tired. The power of his primordial spirit was greatly depleted. Even though Ling Xiao had the inheritance of the Hunyuan alchemy saint, he was still very tired this time. However, the result was still very satisfying for Ling Xiao. A 4th grade Saint Spirit Pill and 30 pill tribulations. He had already surpassed Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan. 30 pill tribulations and a 4th grade Saint Spirit Pill. This is too inconceivable. Am I dreaming? The champion of the pill conference is actually Zhao Ritian? Someone muttered to himself as he stared at Ling Xiao's figure in the sky. His face was filled with disbelief. Yeah. I originally thought that the champion of the pill conference would be between Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao. I didn't expect it to be Zhao Ritian. Dark horse, he's definitely a dark horse. I can imagine that after today, Zhao Ritian's name will definitely spread throughout the entire realm of the gods. With such a peerless talent in alchemy, I'm afraid that he will become a hot commodity. The 12 great immortal sanctuaries will not be able to sit still, and will come to recruit him. Pill Seal Mountain has miscalculated this time. Everyone was discussing animatedly as they looked at Ling Xiao with reverence in their eyes. In this world, the strong were still respected. When Ling Xiao displayed his great talent and strength, everyone's expressions changed. A 4th grade Saint Spirit Pill, a 4th grade Saint Spirit Pill. He must have a huge secret on him. I heard from Xiao Rui that the inheritance of the primordial chaos alchemy saint appeared in the void sacred world. Could it be that Zhao Ritian obtained the inheritance? Xiao Hong's expression was originally extremely ugly. After all, he had been slapped in the face time and time again by Ling Xiao. He even had the intention to kill Ling Xiao in his heart. However, on second thought, he could no longer remain calm when he thought of the primordial chaos alchemy saint's inheritance that had just appeared in the void sacred world. His heart was burning with greed. The primordial chaos alchemy saint was one of the strongest alchemy saints in the ancient era. He was far more powerful than the alchemy saints of Pill Seal Mountain. Moreover, when he thought of the powerful inheritance and elixir formula that the primordial chaos alchemy saint had, Xiao Hong's heart became even more greedy. He must capture Zhao Ritian and find out the secret on him. He was now 90% sure that the primordial chaos alchemy saint's inheritance was with Zhao Ritian. When he thought of this, the displeasure in his heart disappeared. Xiao Hong was already thinking of how to capture Zhao Ritian and interrogate him for the secret on him. Guru Ziyang and Poison Grandma, who were sent flying by Master Jiu, could feel the vast saint's aura. They could not help but shiver and immediately sober up. Their eyes were filled with fear as they prostrated themselves on the ground, not daring to attack Ling Xiao again. They did not doubt that Master Jiu would really kill them if they dared to make the slightest move. Even though they hated Ling Xiao to the extreme, they did not dare to make the slightest move at this moment. The fact that Ling Xiao was able to concoct a grade 4 Saint Spirit Pill shocked countless people. However, it also affected some of the alchemists nearby, causing their efforts to go to waste. Originally, they wanted to cause trouble for Ling Xiao. However, when they saw Master Jiu siding with Ling Xiao, even though they wanted to curse in their hearts, they didn't dare to go up against him. Very quickly, the remaining alchemists completed the process of condensing their elixir. Among the thousands of alchemists, other than Ling Tian, most of them had only refined half-step Saint Spiritual Pills. Less than 100 of them had refined a Saint Spiritual Pill. Among these 100 alchemists, only 7 or 8 of them had refined a second-grade Saint Spiritual Pill and above. This included Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, Zhuo Bufan, and the others. The grand alchemy competition was considered to have ended. Master Jiu stood in the air and swept his gaze across the crowd. He said loudly, "This grand alchemy competition is considered to have ended. I will now announce the results of the grand alchemy competition." The top 10 of this grand alchemy competition are Zhuo Bufan, Ling Xiao, Lu Wenlong, Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong. The champion of the grand alchemy competition is Zhao Ritian. Master Jiu's voice was extremely clear as it traveled into everyone's ears. At that moment, Zhuo Bufan, who had been unconscious, slowly woke up. He happened to hear Master Jiu's words. His eyes widened as he struggled to stand up. What? I am the champion of the grand alchemy competition. Who is Zhao Ritian? Aunt Master Jiu, are you wrong? The champion of the grand alchemy competition is me, not Zhao Ritian. Zhuo Bufan's face was filled with anxiety as he stared at Master Jiu. The champion of the grand alchemy talisman ceremony was too important to him. Even the second place was meaningless to him. Only the champion of the grand alchemy competition was something he had to fight for. Otherwise, he would not have used his blood essence to cast the blood spirit elixir upgrading technique to forcefully raise the 7-star sacred heart elixir to a 4th grade saint spiritual pill. However, just as Zhuo Bufan finished speaking, he felt that the people around him were looking at him strangely. Young master, Master Jiu's announcement was right. When you were unconscious just now, Zhao Ritian refined a 4th grade saint spiritual pill and passed through 30 pill tribulations. The gray-robed elder beside Zhuo Bufan said awkwardly. His eyes were filled with helplessness. What? 4th grade saint spiritual pill. 30 lightning tribulations. Impossible, this is impossible. Zhuo Bufan's face instantly turned pale as he mumbled to himself. He seemed to have lost his soul, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. In the end, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His head tilted to one side as he fainted again. He fainted from anger? Zhuo Bufan is too pitiful. A trace of sympathy appeared in everyone's eyes. Anyone who heard this result would have fainted from anger. After all, to see the alchemy champion get his hands on the championship, and then watch it slip away, this kind of huge blow was not something an ordinary person could bear. Chapter 1905. The grand alchemy competition had ended. No one had expected Ling Xiao to become a dark horse. He had emerged from the crowd of alchemists and won the grand alchemy competition. Zhao Ritian and Zhuo Bufan, who were favored by everyone, had lost without a doubt. Zhuo Bufan was so angry that he vomited blood and fainted. Buzz. A light flashed in Master Jiu's palm, and a black flame appeared instantly. It contained a terrifying destructive power that seemed to be able to corrode everything. Zhao Ritian, this is the reward for the grand alchemy competition, the bone-chilling flame. Master Jiu smiled faintly. He then placed the bone-chilling flame in a white jade bottle and handed it to Ling Xiao. What? It's the bone-chilling flame? I heard that the bone-chilling flame is ranked 340th on the origin source list. It's the origin source flame that was born in the land of extreme Yin. It can corrode everything and is extremely terrifying. Everyone was shocked when they saw the bone-chilling flame in Master Jiu's palm. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Although the bone-chilling flame was not ranked as high as the Xiantian origin source flame, it was extremely rare. It contained the origin source of extreme Yin, and its attack power was extremely terrifying. Even a saint would not want to be contaminated by the bone-chilling flame. I heard that the origin source flames can devour each other to evolve. If Zhuo Bufan obtains the bone-chilling flame, he might be able to evolve the Xiantian origin source flame even more. What a pity. Devour to evolve? You're thinking too much. The origin source flames are all rare treasures. Even if a higher-ranked origin source flame wants to devour a lower-ranked origin source flame, the conditions are extremely harsh. The success rate is extremely low. Otherwise, Pill Talisman Mountain would have given the bone-chilling flame to Zhuo Bufan. Hehe, this is the bone-chilling flame. Even many alchemy saints don't have the origin source flame. I'm afraid Pill Talisman Mountain has miscalculated this time. Everyone stared at the bone-chilling flame in disgust. Fortunately, Zhuo Bufan had fainted. Otherwise, he would be so angry that he would vomit blood. Zhuo Bufan had already regarded the bone-chilling flame as his, but now it had flown away and landed in Ling Zhao's hands. Bone-chilling flame? Thank you, Master Jiu. Ling Zhao's eyes lit up. He took the bone-chilling flame and bowed to Master Jiu. You don't need to thank me. This is what you deserve, Master Wine said with a faint smile. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He could feel the heaven-devouring fire in his body emitting waves of desire. It was as if it desired the bone-corroding cold flame very much. If it weren't for Ling Xiao suppressing it, it would have directly charged out. Could it be that the heaven-devouring fire wants to devour the bone-corroding cold fire? Although he had heard that origin flames could devour one another, the sky-devouring fire was only on par with saint flames right now. He did not dare to take the risk and let the sky-devouring fire devour it. Moreover, now was not the time. Sensing the strong fluctuation of the sky-devouring fire, Ling Xiao planned to find a time to give it a try. If the sky-devouring fire could really devour the bone-corroding cold fire, it might be able to improve his sky-devouring secret skill, which had been stagnant for a long time. The top 10 in the Pill Dao competition this time possessed the qualifications to enter the Pill Scripture Pavilion on my Mount Pill Talisman, to comprehend the quintessence of the Pill Dao. Every single one of them will be able to obtain an ancient pill formula. Will all of you choose to head to the Pill Scripture Pavilion now, or head there after the competition ends? Master Wine's gaze landed on Ling Xiao and the others as he spoke with a smile. I choose to head to the Pill Scripture Pavilion now. Zhao Ritian's eyes lit up as he spoke immediately. Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the others also chose to head to the Pill Scripture Pavilion now without any hesitation. Although they were all genius disciples of Mount Pill Talisman, they knew what the Pill Scripture Pavilion meant to them. Even with their status, they had only been there a few times. We'll head there after the competition. Lu Wenlong thought for a moment. He wanted to wait for the results of Lu Qinghuan's Talisman Dao competition. Ling Xiao pondered for a moment and glanced at Jin Sei in the distance. However, Jin Sei seemed to know what Ling Xiao was thinking. She transmitted her voice to Ling Xiao. Go to the Pill Scripture Pavilion. I won't participate in the Talisman Dao competition. This time, it's purely for Lin Shi. Alright. Jin Sei, wait for me. Ling Xiao thought for a moment and spoke to Jin Sei seriously. Ling Xiao did not know why, but he felt a sense of danger. That sense of danger forced him to choose to enter the Pill Scripture Pavilion in advance to find the pill formula of the eternal creation pill. Ling Xiao participated in the alchemy talisman ceremony for the pill formula of the eternal creation pill. As for the Pill Scripture Pavilion, it did not attract him. After all, the inheritance of the Chaos Essence Alchemy Saint and the Sun Moon Alchemy Sect were in Ling Xiao's mind. Although the Pill Talisman Mountain was known as the Holy Land of Alchemy Talismans, it had only obtained part of the Sun Moon Alchemy Sect's inheritance. I choose to enter the Pill Scripture Pavilion now, Ling Xiao said calmly. Alright. Next, I'll bring you to the Pill Scripture Pavilion. As for what you can comprehend there, it will depend on your luck. Master Jiu smiled faintly. Then his gaze paused on Ling Xiao for a moment. Don't worry, Master Jiu. When I come out of the Pill Scripture Pavilion, I'll go to the 8 Treasure Lotus Merit Pool to search for Xiao Yu's soul. Ling Xiao knew what Master Jiu was thinking and transmitted his voice to him. I believe in you. Master Jiu took a deep breath and said. Although he had already advanced to the sage stage, he could not help but feel excited at this moment. Senior Brother Jiu, you still have to preside over the Talisman Dao competition here. Why don't I bring them to the Pill Scripture Pavilion? Xiao Hong, who was standing in front of Master Jiu, suddenly smiled and said with a bright light in his eyes. You're going? Forget about it. I'll be back soon. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Master Jiu frowned slightly. He glanced at Xiao Hong and rejected him in the end. Alright. Senior Brother Jiu, come back soon. You still need to preside over the situation here. Xiao Hong did not force him and smiled faintly. However, his gaze paused on Ling Xiao for a moment before he left without a trace. Xiao Hong is hostile towards me? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. His divine senses were extremely sharp, and he instantly sensed the hostility hidden in Xiao Hong's gaze. Could it be that the sense of danger came from Xiao Hong? Ling Xiao thought to himself. I don't seem to have offended Xiao Hong. Could it be because of Xiao Rui? Ling Xiao's thoughts turned and he started to be alert. Come with me, Master Jiu said to Ling Xiao and the others. Then he waved his sleeves, and a blazing light bloomed. The void in front of Master Jiu instantly broke open. The void turbulence surged, and chaotic fog filled the air. A void passage was formed in front of Master Jiu. Chapter 1906. Rumble. The surroundings were filled with mysterious light. The void was distorted, and chaotic mist rose. This void passage was extremely mysterious. It traversed hundreds of millions of miles of the void, as if it led to an unknown world. When Ling Xiao and the others stepped out of the void passage with Master Jiu, a bright light flashed before their eyes. An ancient and vast aura filled the air. They appeared in an ancient valley. There were a few towering mountains around them. They were majestic, ancient, and mysterious. They were hidden in the clouds, and blazing divine light rose from them. In front of Ling Xiao and the others, there was a 7-story glazed pagoda. It was glowing and mist rose. It was magnificent. Although the 7-story glazed pagoda was only a few hundred feet tall, Ling Xiao and the others felt that it was not any smaller than the surrounding mountains. It was even more ancient and majestic. There was a golden plaque on top of the 7-story glazed pagoda. 3 ancient words were carved on it. Alchemy Library. So this is the Alchemy Library. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Alchemy Library gave him a mysterious feeling. It was like an extremely powerful holy treasure. The holy aura filled the air, and it made people's hearts palpitate. At the entrance of the Alchemy Library, 2 white-haired elders sat cross-legged. One was wearing a white robe, and the other was wearing a black robe. One was as hot as the sun, and the other was as cold as ice. The aura of the 2 elders was unfathomable. They were both sages. Other than Xiao Rui and a few disciples of Alchemy Seal Mountain, Zhao Ritian, Huang Xuanzong, and the others were shocked. There were 2 sages. It was obvious that the Alchemy Library was extraordinary. When the 2 elders sensed Master Jiu's aura, they slowly opened their eyes. Their eyes were deep and filled with the vicissitudes of life. They immediately stood up and cupped their fists towards Master Jiu. Senior Brother Jiu, are these people the geniuses of this grand alchemy competition? Master Jiu nodded and said, "That's right. Junior Brother He, Junior Brother Bai, the top 10 in the grand alchemy competition. Other than Lu Wenlong and Zhuo Bufan, the other 8 are all here. I will bring them into the Alchemy Library to feel the origin of alchemy." Zhuo Bufan was still unconscious. Master Jiu was ready to let him enter the Alchemy Library with Lu Wenlong. No problem. Within the Alchemy Compendium Pavilion, other than the 7th level, they could freely view the other 6 levels. However, each person could only choose 1 pill formula from the 6th level. You have 1 month's time. After 1 month, you will be teleported out of the Alchemy Library. The 2 old men looked at Ling Xiao and the others and said slowly, "Junior Brother He, Junior Brother Bai, Zhao Ritian is the alchemy champion this time. He is qualified to enter the 7th level." Master Wine pointed at Ling Xiao. "What? Isn't the Pill Dao champion this time Zhuo Bufan?" The black-robed old man and the black-robed old man also revealed a trace of surprise in their eyes. They could not help but take a deep look at Ling Xiao. "That's right. The Alchemy Dao champion this time is him." Master Wine nodded and said, "All right. He has the qualifications to enter the 7th floor." The black-robed old man and the white-robed old man suppressed the shock in their eyes and opened the door of the Alchemy Library. Rumble. The door of the Alchemy Library opened. Mist filled the air and light spewed out. Streaks of mysterious Taoist rhymes were emitted from within. Under the jealous and envious gazes of the crowd, Ling Xiao walked into the Alchemy Library. Following him were Zhao Ritian, Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong and the others. Try to stay on the 7th level for as long as possible. It will be beneficial for you. Before Ling Xiao entered the Alchemy Library, Master Wine's voice was transmitted into Ling Xiao's mind. The 7th level? Ling Xiao could not help but be moved. Could it be that there was a secret on the 7th level? "Ling Xiao, how about you sell me your bone-chilling flame? As long as you're willing, I can use sage treasures or divine pills to exchange for it." Zhao Ritian suddenly approached Ling Xiao and transmitted his voice. Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian and said, "Sage treasures? Do you think your sage treasures are comparable to my flipping sky seal? As for divine pills, forget about ordinary divine pills. If you can take out a grade 9 divine pill, perhaps I can consider it. Grade 9 divine pill? You. Why don't you just rob me? Zhao Ritian said angrily. A grade 9 divine pill was a supreme treasure that even sage kings would fight for. Although it might not be as precious as the origin source flame, it was too rare. If a grade 9 divine pill was used to exchange for the origin source flame, there would definitely be people who would be willing to do so. Then there's no need to talk about it. Zhao Ritian, don't forget about our bet. When we leave the alchemy library, remember to use your supreme emperor weapon to help me refine pills. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Bastard! Zhao Ritian said angrily and gritted his teeth. As soon as the bet was mentioned, Zhao Ritian felt his forehead cramping. This time, he thought that he would definitely win. He did not expect to lose to Ling Xiao in the end. Helping Ling Xiao refine pills was nothing. However, the bet this time made him extremely depressed. Looking at Zhao Ritian's furious yet helpless expression, Ling Xiao's lips curled into a smile. Then he walked into the depths of the alchemy library. The first level of the alchemy library was about the most basic knowledge of alchemy. Most of it was about the refinement of divine pills and the principles of alchemy. Ling Xiao roughly looked at it and realized that it was useless to him. He then walked up to the second level. The knowledge of alchemy on the second level was much more profound. It was basically about the sage-to-be divine pills. However, it was still not attractive to Ling Xiao. They're heading to the sixth level? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He realized that Xiao Rui was leading Huang Xuanzong and the others to the sixth level without hesitation. They did not even look at the first few levels. The sixth level is all about alchemy recipes. Could there be something else? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat and he immediately quickened his pace. The third level of the alchemy library involved the application of many principles of alchemy. It involved the origin of alchemy and the refinement of divine pills. Most of it was the cultivation experience of the predecessors of Alchemy Seal Mountain. There were also various alchemy classics collected by Alchemy Seal Mountain, including the fourth and fifth levels. They were also incomparably profound alchemy classics. Ling Xiao only skimmed through them roughly and felt that the records in those classics were incomparably profound. They would be of great use to a real alchemy saint. I'd like to see what's on the sixth level, Ling Xiao thought in his heart. His eyes revealed a trace of brilliance. He temporarily suppressed his curiosity about those alchemy classics and ascended to the sixth level. The layout of the sixth level was completely different from the previous 5 levels. Within the sixth level, a series of resplendent balls of light floated in the void. They looked extremely dazzling, just like the stars in the sky. God knows how many thousands of these balls of light there were. Among those light clusters, there was an incomparably huge golden light cluster. It was like a blazing sun, exuding a mysterious and vast fluctuation. It floated in the center of all the light clusters. Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the others were standing in front of that light cluster at this moment. Their faces were full of excitement and anticipation. Chapter 1907. Wang. The golden ball of light was like a blazing sun. It emitted a dazzling radiance and a mysterious Taoist rhyme. Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the rest were sitting in front of the golden ball of light with their eyes closed. They were emitting a mysterious aura, as though they were in a state of enlightenment. It was as though they were trying to comprehend something from the ball of light. What's this? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with a golden radiance as he slowly approached the ball of light. He could see that there were mysterious runes in the ball of light that seemed to contain the truth of the great Tao. In the middle of the ball of light, there was a golden fruit the size of a fist. It was hidden between reality and illusion. It was very mysterious. It's a Tao fruit? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He just realized that the golden fruit in the ball of light was a sage's Tao fruit. The mysterious Taoist rhyme contained the truth of the alchemy Tao. This was a Tao fruit left behind by an alchemy saint. The Tao fruit was formed from the great Tao origin. If a sage-to-be wanted to become a sage, he would have to comprehend a great Tao origin and condense it into a Dao fruit to become a true sage. However, what surprised Ling Xiao was that the Dao fruit was only the great Dao origin of a sage. For an existence like Pill Talisman Mountain that was not weaker than a saint ground, sages were not rare. There should even be great sage-level experts. Why would Xiao Rui and the rest place so much importance on a Dao fruit from an alchemy saint? Do you know what's going on? Ling Xiao asked when he saw Zhao Ritian standing in front of the Dao fruit. Of course I know. You don't know that this is an alchemy saint's Dao fruit? Zhao Ritian looked at Ling Xiao in surprise. I know that this is an alchemy saint's Dao fruit. But why would they place so much importance on it? Ling Xiao said snappily. You don't know, right? Hehe, this isn't an ordinary alchemy saint's Dao fruit. If I'm not wrong, this alchemy saint's Dao fruit contains a trace of the great emperor's origin. Zhao Ritian said proudly to Ling Xiao. Great emperor's origin? Ling Xiao's body shook. The great emperor's source was the legendary power of a supreme great emperor. How could it appear in an alchemy saint's fruit? Ling Xiao could not help but activate the flipping sky seal. The extreme emperor's aura in the flipping sky seal flashed slightly. The alchemy saint's Dao fruit in front of him also emitted a strange light. Ling Xiao immediately understood. At this moment, the alchemy saint Tao fruit indeed contained the great emperor's origin. Otherwise, the extreme emperor's might in the cyclic sky seal would not have formed a connection with the alchemy saint Tao fruit. Ling Xiao understood that Zhao Ritian must have activated the Yin Emperor Cauldron to sense the existence of the great emperor's origin. Hehe, that trace of great emperor's origin is good stuff. If you could refine a trace of the great emperor's origin, it would be enough for you to break through to the 9th revolution half-saint realm. How about it? Are you interested? How about we snatch this alchemy sage Dao fruit? Zhao Ritian transmitted his voice. His voice was filled with eagerness. Snatch this alchemy saint Dao fruit? No problem. If you're not afraid of being hunted down by the Pill Talisman Mountain, you can go ahead and rob them. Ling Xiao glanced at him and said. The alchemy library was located in the Alchemy Talisman Mountain. It must be one of the core forbidden grounds of the Alchemy Talisman Mountain. Snatching the alchemy Saint Tao fruit was like eating arsenic for an old man who was tired of living. TSK. It's just 2 sages. They can't stop me, Zhao Ritian. Zhao Ritian laughed proudly. I know you have an extreme emperor weapon. However, with your current cultivation, I'm afraid you can only fight alone, right? Even if you can kill the black-robed sage and the white-robed sage, are you sure you can escape the pursuit of the other sages of the Alchemy Talisman Mountain? Ling Xiao glared at Zhao Ritian and warned him. He was afraid that Zhao Ritian would really run away after snatching the alchemy Saint Tao fruit. Humph, it's just a trace of the great emperor's origin. It's not worth my risk. If I'm not wrong, that trace of the great emperor's origin could be the alchemy emperor's origin. It contains the secrets of the alchemy Dao. You can try it out. It should be beneficial to you. Zhao Ritian snorted coldly. He looked at the alchemy Saint Tao fruit in front of him reluctantly. Then he turned his head away and walked towards the light that contained the pill formula. The alchemy emperor's origin? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He had heard that the alchemy emperor was the ruler of the alchemy realm. He was an ancient antique that had survived from the primordial era until now. He was extremely mysterious as he had survived several great calamities. There were countless ancient and mysterious pills in the alchemy realm. Those pills could even transform into a human form to cultivate. It was a sacred place for countless pills. Legend had it that the alchemy saint pills that were refined had powerful spirituality. If they managed to escape, they would escape into the alchemy realm. Then, the alchemy emperor would bestow upon them supreme fortune, and transform them into a human. It could be said that the alchemy emperor held the ultimate secrets of the alchemy Dao. Ling Xiao would believe it if the alchemy Saint Tao fruit contained the alchemy emperor's origin. However, most of the alchemy saints might not have seen an alchemy saint in their entire lives. What was so special about this alchemy Saint Tao fruit, that it contained a trace of the alchemy emperor's origin? Ling Xiao had some doubts in his heart. He simply sat down with his legs crossed to see if he could comprehend anything from this alchemy Saint Tao fruit. Boom. When Ling Zhao's primordial spirit spread out and slowly probed towards the alchemy Saint Tao fruit, he felt a vast and mysterious aura gushing out. His primordial spirit seemed to have entered an extremely mysterious world. It was a world formed by flames and pills. Endless flames rose. Each pill seemed to have its own spirituality and lived on this land. They had actually multiplied into a race just like the human race. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit seemed to have transformed into the heavenly Tao of this world. He began to pay attention to every movement of the pills and flames, and comprehended a trace of the alchemy Tao from them. No wonder Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong couldn't wait. It turns out that this alchemy Saint Tao fruit has such a magical effect. I'm afraid that even an entry-level alchemist can become an alchemy saint if he meditates here for a long time. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. He could feel the mystery of this world. It was as if the alchemy Tao knowledge was like a torrent that constantly poured into his sea of consciousness and became a part of his memory. However, Ling Xiao had already obtained the inheritance of the origin alchemy saint and the Sun Moon alchemy sect. Therefore, he didn't feel anything about the alchemy Tao knowledge. However, he knew that this alchemy Saint Tao fruit was indeed an incredible treasure. Just this alchemy Saint Tao fruit alone was enough to create a powerful alchemy sect. This was the foundation of Alchemy Talisman Mountain. Chapter 1908. This alchemy Saint Tao fruit was indeed not bad. It could be considered a great opportunity. Even for an alchemy saint, it was a very important reference. However, Ling Xiao already had the inheritance of the mixed Yuan alchemy saint and the Sun Moon alchemy sect. This alchemy Saint Tao fruit was nothing to him. Ling Xiao did not intend to waste any more time here. He was ready to find the elixir formula of the eternal creation elixir. According to Master Jiu, the elixir formula of the eternal creation elixir was on the 6th level. Just as Ling Xiao was about to leave, his primordial spirit suddenly trembled. He actually felt a very familiar aura from the alchemy Saint Tao fruit. Boom. The mixed Yuan Heart Elixir Sutra and the Sun Moon Elixir Sutra that Ling Xiao had already refined trembled slightly. Ling Xiao felt a strange fluctuation in his soul. The alchemy Saint Tao fruit seemed to be of the same origin as the mixed Yuan Heart Elixir Sutra. It caused the mixed Yuan Heart Elixir Sutra and the Sun Moon Elixir Sutra to tremble. Could this alchemy Saint Tao fruit have been left behind by an expert from the Sun Moon alchemy sect? Ling Xiao was shocked. Only someone who had cultivated the Sun Moon Elixir Sutra could condense a Tao fruit that caused such a strong reaction from the Sun Moon Elixir Sutra. Perhaps I can try to investigate this alchemy Saint Tao fruit. Ling Xiao thought. The Sun Moon Elixir Sutra was the inheritance of the Sun Moon alchemy sect. It had records of how to collect a Tao fruit, especially the Tao fruit condensed by the Sun Moon alchemy sect. It was of the same origin. It was not difficult for Ling Xiao. Buzz. With a thought, Ling Xiao's primordial spirit emitted a faint light. Ancient runes condensed, forming a mysterious scene of the sun and moon in the sky around Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit slowly flew toward the golden Tao fruit. Ling Xiao's small movements were silent. Xiao Rui and the others were now in a state of cultivation. They did not notice Ling Xiao's primordial spirit approaching the alchemy Saint Tao fruit. Just as Ling Xiao's primordial spirit was about to touch the alchemy Saint Tao fruit, the alchemy Saint Tao fruit trembled slightly, and a ripple appeared. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit directly. And it's an expert from the Sun Moon alchemy sect. Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. Boom. His primordial spirit seemed to have entered a chaotic world. The surroundings were filled with blazing divine light. Flames rose and chaotic mist permeated the air. This place was formed purely from the laws of the Great Tao, and it transformed into various mysterious scenes. If an ordinary person dared to let their soul touch the fruit, they would probably be instantly assimilated by the laws of the Great Tao within the fruit. However, Ling Xiao's primordial spirit was of the same origin as the alchemy Saint Tao fruit, so he was not affected at all. He immediately saw the deepest part of the alchemy Saint Tao fruit. There was a mysterious purple aura floating there. It was like a purple river of stars traversing the sky, emitting an ancient, mysterious, and vast aura. It was just a single strand of purple qi, but it gave Ling Xiao the feeling that it could crush the world. Even 1,000,000,000,000 divine mountains would not be as heavy as this strand of mysterious purple qi. Could this be the Pill Emperor's source? Ling Xiao's heart trembled slightly. Standing in front of the purple galaxy, he was like an ant looking up at a dragon. Naturally, he felt small and insignificant. The mysterious purple aura drifted, and it vaguely transformed into a human figure. His head was the endless sky, and his feet were stepping on the vast river of stars. He emitted an invincible aura that could sweep through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Ling Xiao felt his blood boil, and his primordial spirit trembled violently. Just sensing a trace of aura made his primordial spirit feel like it was about to collapse. Sensing the instability of Ling Xiao's primordial spirit, the wordless heavenly book trembled slightly. In an instant, it emitted a mysterious light, covering Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. The light from the wordless heavenly book blazed, forming an ancient book shadow outside Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. It seemed to be able to encompass the heavens, and it faintly contended with the strand of purple qi. At the same time, the wordless heavenly book emitted an extremely strong wave, as if it wanted to break free from Ling Xiao's control, and fly towards the strand of purple qi, wanting to devour it directly. Ling Xiao had never felt such a strong impulse from the wordless heavenly book. It was as if the strand of purple qi was a supreme delicacy, causing the wordless heavenly book to be unable to hold back. Could it be that the wordless heavenly book can devour this Pill Emperor's source? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he could not help but loosen his control over the wordless heavenly book, wanting to let it try. Although Ling Xiao had a good impression of Lu Wenlong, Lu Qingwan, and Master Wine, he did not have a good impression of Pill Talisman Mountain, especially when he heard that Ji Feishuan was beaten into the demon burial abyss by ancestor Yuan Ling. If there was a chance to obtain this Pill Emperor's source, Ling Xiao naturally would not hold back, and he would not have any psychological burden. Whoosh! After the wordless heavenly book received Ling Xiao's permission, it instantly turned into a bright stream of light. A vast and mysterious aura erupted, like a devouring vortex, and rushed towards the strand of purple qi. Boom! The purple galaxy trembled slightly, as if it felt the threat of the wordless heavenly book. In an instant, it shot out billions of beams of divine light. Each beam of divine light contained an aura that could destroy everything. It wanted to completely destroy the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao felt his scalp go numb. He felt that each of the billions of divine lights was not weaker than the full blow of a saint. If Ling Xiao faced such a blow, he was afraid that even with the protection of the flipping sky seal, he would die without a doubt. As expected of the great emperor's source, just a trace of the great emperor's source had the terrifying power to crush a saint. However, the wordless heavenly book was not a saint, nor was it an ordinary saint path. Those blazing divine lights were instantly devoured by the wordless heavenly book, and a vast and mysterious power descended, as if to completely devour the strand of purple qi. Boom! It was as if an ancient great emperor had awakened from a deep sleep. An extreme emperor's aura that made Ling Xiao's hair stand on end spread out, mysterious and vast, as if to destroy everything. However, all the power of the extreme emperor's aura fell on the wordless heavenly book, as if it was careful. Otherwise, the alchemy saint's Tao fruit would not be able to withstand the extreme emperor's aura, and would collapse in an instant. How dare you? A majestic and mysterious voice rang out from the purple qi. It was extremely terrifying, as if to shatter Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. Rumble! The wordless heavenly book and the Pill Emperor's source were in a stalemate. Divine lights bloomed between them, fiercely contending with each other. Endless power of law filled the air, drowning everything in the surroundings. Chapter 1909. Could that be the voice of an elixir emperor? Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. An elixir emperor's origin had existed in the elixir saint's Tao fruit for many years. How could it contain the will of an emperor? This sudden change made Ling Xiao extremely shocked. The wordless heavenly book seemed to have met its natural enemy. Although it unleashed a terrifying divine aura in an attempt to break through everything and devour the purple gas, it was met with a strong resistance from the emperor's will. An emperor could not be humiliated. Even if it was just an emperor's origin, it was not something that could be easily shaken. Although the wordless heavenly book was a chaotic treasure that surpassed an extreme Tao emperor weapon when it was at its peak, it was only in a severely injured state, and was not even a billionth of its peak state. Therefore, it could not do anything to the emperor's origin. Buzz. The textless heavenly book floated in the air above the purple galaxy. The 108 pages of the book slowly unfolded. The 9-colored light was dazzling, and the chaotic mist rose. There seemed to be a beam of divine light shooting out from each of the 108 pages, converging into one and shooting toward the purple galaxy. The purple galaxy surged, and the mysterious figure seemed to be enraged. Just as he was about to launch an attack, his body suddenly trembled. It's the wordless heavenly book? Since it's the person you've chosen, then take this origin source as my greeting gift. The majestic and mysterious voice sounded again. The purple galaxy calmed down in an instant. It was as if it no longer resisted. It turned into a mysterious purple light, and flew into the wordless heavenly book. It recognizes the wordless heavenly book. Could it really be the will of an elixir emperor? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. Although that sentence was somewhat inexplicable, it vaguely reminded him of something. The elixir emperor's origin should not have been devoured by the wordless heavenly book so easily. However, because of the wordless heavenly book, the elixir emperor's origin gave up resisting, and allowed the wordless heavenly book to devour it. Rumble. The wordless heavenly book shone brightly. The elixir emperor's origin seemed to contain a vast amount of energy. The wordless heavenly book started to emit dazzling rays of light, as though it had eaten too much. Even the wordless heavenly book began to emit a mysterious power that surged towards Ling Xiao's body. The energy was extremely pure and vast, just like the energy that Ling Xiao cultivated himself. It contained the extremely vast origin energy of the ways, directly shattering Ling Xiao's already loosened bottleneck in an instant. Ling Xiao felt that the third nirvana tribulation was about to descend. Not good. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he hurriedly woke up from his state of comprehension. Ignoring the others, he directly sat down in a corner of the 6th floor. A mysterious formation plate lit up in his hand, and it turned into a powerful formation in an instant, enveloping Ling Xiao. This was the Heaven Concealment Array disc that Ling Xiao had obtained by chance. It could form a Heaven Concealment Array. Although it did not have a strong defensive ability, its concealment ability was extremely strong. Once the Heaven Concealment Array was activated, even a saint would not be able to see through everything within the array. However, Ling Xiao still felt that it was not safe. 2 more holy talismans filled with holy might appeared in his palm. One was the Earth Prison Talisman, and the other was the Heaven Concealing Holy Talisman. At the same time, they shattered, forming a mysterious spiritual fog around him. After doing all this, Ling Xiao felt that the energy pouring into his body was getting stronger and stronger. He could no longer suppress it, so he immediately connected to the heart realm, and entered the Void Temple. Ling Xiao naturally did not feel at ease breaking through in the alchemy library, so he chose to enter the Void Temple. With his various arrangements, even a saint would not be able to know that he had left the alchemy library and entered the Void Temple. Moreover, fighting was prohibited in the alchemy library. Even if Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong had malicious intentions towards him, they would not dare to attack him. In the Time Palace, Ling Xiao exchanged a large amount of holy liquid for 30 times the flow of time. Then he sat cross-legged in the void and released the suppression on his cultivation. Rumble. Terrifying lightning flashed, and Ling Xiao's body exploded with thunderous sounds. An incomparably dense tribulation chi spread out from his body. The boundless nirvana tribulation instantly erupted. A blazing divine light enveloped Ling Xiao. Outside the alchemy library, the black-robed saint and the white-robed saint opened their eyes at the same time. There was a trace of doubt in their eyes. What is Zhao Ritian doing? How did he set up a formation? Even we can't see what he's doing. The black-robed saint's eyes flashed. I just sensed a trace of a breakthrough fluctuation from his body. Could it be that he wants to undergo the nirvana tribulation in the alchemy library? The white-robed saint pondered for a moment and speculated. Undergoing the nirvana tribulation in the alchemy library? What a joke. This kid is really daring. The black-robed saint's eyes widened. He was not worried about Ling Zhao's life, but he was afraid that Ling Zhao's nirvana tribulation would destroy the treasures in the alchemy library. One had to know that this was the collection of Mount Dan talisman for hundreds of millions of years. All the alchemy classics were here. He should know what he's doing. Let's pay more attention. If the formation he set up is not broken, then so be it. If the formation he set up is broken, then we'll take action. The white-robed saint said slowly. Although he guessed that Ling Zhao was undergoing the nirvana tribulation, he could not stop him. After all, Ling Zhao and the others had a month to comprehend in the alchemy library. As long as Ling Zhao did not destroy the alchemy library, they could not chase him out. They could only place most of their attention on Ling Zhao. Could it be that this guy has broken through? Zhao Ritian was originally looking for the pill formula, but Ling Zhao's actions made him a little confused. Even if he has broken through, he can't surpass you. Don't worry about him. Go look for the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. Mount Dan Talisman has obtained the inheritance of the Sun Moon Elixir sect. It's very likely that they have the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. As long as you can get the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill, it's only a matter of time before you become a sage. The second elder's voice rang in Zhao Ritian's mind. All right. Zhao Ritian nodded and no longer paid attention to Ling Zhao. Instead, he turned around and continued looking for the pill formula. In the space of the 6th floor, there were tens of thousands of light balls. They represented the tens of thousands of ancient pill formulas in Mount Dan Talisman's collection. It could be said to be as vast as the sea. Moreover, there were many pill formulas that made Zhao Ritian drool. However, for the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill, he could only accept it. Damn it, I really want to snatch all these pill formulas. Chapter 1910. Rumble. Ling Zhao sat cross-legged in the Time Palace, surrounded by divine light. It was as if a mysterious river of time extended to the end of the world. The Pill Emperor's origin had been devoured by the wordless heavenly book, but the wordless heavenly book seemed to understand the meaning of the last sentence of the Pill Emperor's origin. Although it was extremely eager for the Pill Emperor's origin, it still refined the Pill Emperor's origin and gave half to Ling Zhao. The Pill Emperor's origin was the Pill Emperor's comprehension of the Supreme Heavenly Way. It was the origin energy formed by gathering the fortune of the heavens. It could be said that it contained a trace of the power of the Heavenly Way. Now that Ling Zhao had devoured the Pill Emperor's origin, it was equivalent to devouring a trace of the power of the Heavenly Way. What kind of supreme fortune was this? However, even Ling Zhao himself didn't know what had happened to his body, because the third nirvana tribulation had arrived. Crack. Spiderweb-like cracks appeared all over Ling Zhao's body. It was as if he was about to shatter like porcelain. Strands of mysterious tribulation chi, invisible and formless, spread out from his body and enveloped him completely. In the end, his entire body exploded with a loud bang. Ling Zhao's entire body shattered into a resplendent rain of light. His entire body had turned into the tiniest of particles. He seemed extremely mysterious. Although he still maintained his human form, he seemed like he would shatter at any moment. The strands of tribulation chi continued to temper Ling Zhao's body. They contained a mysterious origin energy and slowly integrated into Ling Zhao's body. Chaotic mist pervaded the air. The light formed by Ling Zhao's shattered body was chaotic and mysterious, as if it encompassed the heavens. But at this moment, a wisp of mysterious purple chi dissipated and unceasingly integrated into that ball of light. That formidable nirvana tribulation was originally very difficult for Ling Zhao to cross. However, at this moment, the nirvana tribulation melted like ice and snow when it came in contact with the purple chi. The tribulation chi slowly integrated into Ling Zhao's body. The strands of purple chi also integrated into Ling Zhao's body, causing his originally shattered body to slowly fuse together in an instant. It was not just his physical body. Ling Zhao's soul, the small world in his body, and the various origins of the great ways that he had comprehended were all shattered. However, as the streaks of purple chi flowed, they merged back together almost instantly. Rumble. Resplendent divine light gushed out as a vast and mysterious power rose up. Ling Xiao's entire body shone with purple light. Chaotic chi permeated the air around him, giving him a mysterious aura. The third nirvana tribulation ended just like that? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. The third nirvana tribulation came violently and left quickly as well. It was actually much faster than his usual nirvana tribulation. In just a few hours, it was over. Ling Xiao's cultivation had also broken through to the third revolution half-saint realm. Crack. Ling Xiao didn't even have the time to check the condition of his body. He only felt a vast and unparalleled force explode, and his entire body actually shattered once again. This is the fourth nirvana tribulation. Ling Xiao was instantly shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He had just crossed the third nirvana tribulation. How could the fourth nirvana tribulation come? This is the power of the elixir emperor's origin? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. He finally understood how powerful the elixir emperor's origin was. It didn't take much effort for him to break through to the fourth revolution half-saint realm from the third revolution half-saint realm. Rumble. Ling Xiao's entire body was filled with blazing light. Tribulation chi rose up. The fourth nirvana tribulation was even more dangerous. However, as the streaks of purple light flowed, his entire body seemed to be protected by a mysterious force. The fourth nirvana tribulation had ended. Next, the fifth nirvana tribulation broke out. In this way, Ling Xiao refined the power of the elixir emperor's origin while crossing the nirvana tribulation. His entire aura became more and more terrifying. An incomparably mysterious change was taking place from the inside out. Roar. Roar. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and divine light rose. There was an ancient dragon's roar that shook the void, and there was a powerful beast's roar that reverberated in all directions. On his chest, a mysterious dragon's shadow appeared, and at the same time, there was a purple divine sun in his mouth. That was the tribulation seed formed by the indestructible saint technique. The foundation of Ling Xiao's body was the ancestral dragon's secret technique. Although he had obtained the 5 secret techniques of the 5 sacred beasts, his body only had the bloodline of the dragon clan. He didn't have the bloodline of the other 4 sacred beasts. Therefore, Ling Xiao mainly cultivated the ancestral dragon's secret technique. As for the white tiger secret technique, the true phoenix secret technique, the black tortoise secret technique, and the Qilin secret technique, he only cultivated a few of them. With the cultivation of the ancestral dragon secret technique, Ling Xiao had now reached the complete divine dragon body. However, the gap between it and the final level of the ancestral dragon body was like heaven and earth. Ling Xiao wanted to turn his body into a saint realm expert. However, he knew that relying on the ancestral dragon secret technique alone wouldn't be enough. After all, the reason why it was so difficult to turn one's body into a saint realm expert was that there were only a few people in a macro world who could turn one's body into a saint realm expert. Therefore, Ling Xiao cultivated the indestructible saint technique at the same time. He cultivated the indestructible saint technique to the level of the leakless true body, which made his body even more powerful. However, the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint technique were 2 different techniques after all. Therefore, there was no way to merge them into one. Previously, in the Void Saint world, Ling Xiao had inadvertently comprehended the true meaning of the chaotic body refining technique. Thus, he had begun to merge the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint's celestial appearance. However, that was only the beginning. Now, because of the Pill Emperor's origin, the ancestral dragon secret technique, and the indestructible saint technique that Ling Xiao cultivated had completely merged into one. They were enveloped by the endless chaos, and became a part of Ling Xiao. There was no longer any distinction between the two. Although Ling Xiao's body hadn't been strengthened by much, just the merging of the ancestral dragon secret technique, and the indestructible saint's celestial appearance, was an unimaginable supreme fortune for Ling Xiao. Rumble. When Ling Xiao's body reformed once again, His body spewed out endless blazing divine light. A powerful force erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao felt as if he could blast open the void in front of him with a single punch. An unprecedented feeling of power surged in his heart. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes. 6 Nirvana tribulations, 6th revolution half-saint realm? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. 2 blazing divine lights flashed in his eyes. The void in front of him suddenly trembled. Chapter 1911. Although more than half of the Pill Saint source had been devoured by the wordless heavenly book, only a small part of it had been sent back to Ling Xiao by the wordless heavenly book. However, this small part had allowed Ling Xiao's cultivation to directly break through to the 6th revolution from the 2nd revolution half-saint realm after crossing 4 Nirvana tribulations. The Saint Qi in Ling Xiao's body was surging, and the divine light around his body was blazing. His whole body was brimming with power. After crossing 6 Nirvana tribulations, Ling Xiao's vision of the world had become clearer. The 108,000 pores on Ling Xiao's body seemed to be swallowing and spitting out the essence of heaven and earth at any time and place. His whole body was in harmony with the great Tao principle, giving him a mysterious and holy temperament. After his cultivation had broken through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm, Ling Xiao's strength had naturally increased tremendously. However, the most important thing for Ling Xiao was the Pill Saint source. It had allowed his ancestral dragon secret art and the indestructible holy technique to completely fuse together. Ling Xiao's blood had turned purple gold, and it was full of mysterious, noble, dignified and ancient fluctuations. It made his every move contain unfathomable heavenly might. After the fusion of the ancestral dragon secret art and the indestructible holy technique, I can be considered to have truly stepped on the path of the sage body. Although it's still far from the sage body, as long as I continue on this path, my body will become a sage body one day. Ling Xiao thought to himself, and his eyes flashed with a trace of sharpness. This Pill Saint source is really a supreme fortune. It's a pity that it can only be encountered by chance and not sought. Otherwise, I'm afraid I can directly become a sage body with a few more Pill Saint source. Ling Xiao thought to himself. With his original cultivation speed, it would have taken him a few years to break through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm. However, the Pill Saint source had allowed him to break through in an instant. Ling Xiao had never thought that there would be such a fortune in the alchemy pavilion. Only a few days have passed? It should have only been a few hours in the alchemy pavilion, right? Fortunately. Ling Xiao opened his eyes and sensed that only a few days had passed in the Flowing Time Palace. He originally thought that this breakthrough would take at least a month, but he had never thought that it would be so fast. Young lord, you actually broke through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm? Uncle Su couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the changes in Ling Xiao after leaving the Tai Moon Hall. I was lucky enough to obtain an alchemy emperor's essence in the alchemy library. Ling Xiao didn't hide anything from Uncle Su. Pill Emperor's origin. Young master, you are indeed a person with great luck and good fortune. It was said that the alchemy emperor was one of the most ancient great emperors. He had survived the great calamity of an epoch. It was not easy to obtain his alchemy emperor source. Even a sage king realm expert would probably go back and fight for a great emperor's origin. Uncle Su lamented. Perhaps Ling Xiao did not fully understand the importance of the great emperor's source, but Uncle Su knew that it was extremely difficult for a saint king to take that final step. It was thousands of times more difficult than becoming a saint. Therefore, although there were not many saint kings in the divine world, there were still a few of them. As for emperor realm experts, they were as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. The number of emperor realm experts in the 12 immortal sanctuaries could be counted with one hand. A great emperor's origin was an extremely important reference for a saint king. It might be able to help them understand their own path and take that final step. Young lord, you must not tell anyone that you have obtained the alchemy emperor's origin. Moreover, you have to hide your cultivation level. You can't let the people of Pill Seal Mountain see through you. Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. Uncle Su looked at Ling Xiao sternly. Uncle Su, don't worry. I know what to do. Moreover, I have the heaven-shrouding secret technique. They won't be able to discover my cultivation, Ling Xiao said with an indifferent smile. A mysterious aura fluctuated around his body. His cultivation of the 6th Revolution half-saint was concealed. He still looked like a 2nd Revolution half-saint. Since you know, I won't say anything more. Young lord, please be careful. Uncle Su nodded. Thank you, Uncle Su. I'll take my leave first. Ling Xiao nodded with a smile. He then activated his heart realm and left the Great Void Temple, returning to the alchemy library. Buzz. With a flash of resplendent light, Ling Xiao appeared on the 6th floor of the alchemy library. When he opened his eyes, he immediately carefully inspected the concealment formation disc and the 2 saint talismans he had thrown out. He only relaxed when he discovered that no one had forced their way in. Ling Xiao removed the heaven-concealing disc array and the 2 saint talismans and walked out. Ling Xiao, what are you doing? Why aren't you using your time to comprehend the alchemy saint's Tao fruit or looking for the pill formula? What are you doing? Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed as he saw Ling Xiao walking out of the array. He immediately asked through telepathy. Nothing much. I gained something when I was comprehending the alchemy saint's Tao fruit. That's why I need a quiet space to comprehend it. Have you found the pill formula you need? Ling Xiao said with a smile. Zhao Ritian did not know that the great emperor's origin that he had been thinking about had fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. If he knew, he would not be as relaxed as he was now. You're being so mysterious. You can say that I found it, but it's just an incomplete pill formula. This pill talisman mountain is not that great. They don't even have a complete pill formula. Zhao Ritian said with displeasure. Oh, what pill formula are you looking for? It's incomplete? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. It's fine to tell you. I'm looking for the Hunyuan golden pill formula created by the Hunyuan elixir saint during the Antiquity Age. Zhao Ritian said nonchalantly. The Hunyuan golden pill formula? Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly revealed a strange look. He had obtained the Hunyuan heart pill scripture, and it recorded the Hunyuan golden pill formula. Ling Xiao even had a Hunyuan golden pill with him. However, the alchemy library actually had an incomplete pill formula for the Hunyuan golden pill. It seemed like Pill Talisman Mountain had obtained part of the Sun Moon Elixir Sect's inheritance. That's right. However, this incomplete pill formula is not very useful. Refining an incomplete Hunyuan golden pill will at most allow me to pass through the Nirvana tribulation. It won't help anyone to become a saint. Oh right, what pill formula are you looking for? I've already seen all the pill formulas on the 6th level. I'll tell you where it is. Zhao Ritian said regretfully. Finally, he raised his head and looked at Ling Xiao curiously. I'm looking for the pill formula for the eternal creation pill. Have you seen it? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He did not hide it from Zhao Ritian and told him directly. The pill formula for the eternal creation pill? This is only a tier 6 divine pill. Moreover, the main ingredient, the snow lotus of creation, is almost extinct. It's very difficult to obtain it. Why don't you change it? I see that there are quite a few pill formulas for tier 7, tier 8, and tier 9 divine pills here. Chapter 1912. The eternal creation pill is very useful to me. I've already found the snow lotus of creation. Once we leave the alchemy library, I'll have to trouble you to help me refine the eternal creation pill. As for the other divine pills, I don't have any use for them at the moment. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You want me to refine a tier 6 divine pill for you using an extreme Dao Emperor weapon? You've got a good plan. That's the pill formula for the eternal creation pill. Go and get it. Zhao Ritian said gloomily as he pointed at a green ball of light in front of him. Thank you, Ling Xiao said with a smile. Then he walked over and grabbed the green ball of light in his palm. Eternal creation pill. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit reached out and saw the words on the green ball of light. He knew that he had found the right target and could not help but feel excited. As long as he could refine the eternal creation pill, his 3 senior brothers would be able to recover their cultivation as sages. This was great news for the battle temple. Ling Xiao placed the green ball of light between his eyebrows. Immediately, The pill formula for the regeneration pill was imprinted in his sea of consciousness, including the various spiritual herbs needed, the refining method, the method of condensing the pill, the method of controlling the fire, and so on. It was very detailed. After obtaining the pill formula for the eternal creation pill, Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. He had finally achieved his goal of participating in the alchemy talisman ceremony. Ling Xiao, why don't you go to the 7th level? There should be something good there. Zhao Ritian suddenly came up and whispered to Ling Xiao through telepathy. The 7th level of the alchemy library? I heard that it's the forbidden area of the alchemy talisman mountain. I'm planning to take a look. Why are you so concerned about it? You can't go there. Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian. Ling Xiao, let's make a deal. Can you bring me to the 7th level to take a look? Zhao Ritian said with a smile. The 7th level? The alchemy talisman pavilion must be under the surveillance of the 2 sages. Moreover, there must be a powerful array set up on the 7th level. How are you going to sneak in? Ling Xiao said snappily. I have a plan. I have a transformation technique. I'll leave a clone here to cultivate. Then my real body will attach to your body and follow you to the 7th level. Zhao Ritian said with a smile. Transformation technique? Sure. If you can really deceive the 2 sages and the array formation on the 7th level, I don't mind bringing you to the 7th level. Ling Xiao thought for a moment and nodded. Speaking of which, Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding secret technique was also a powerful transformation technique. However, Ling Xiao didn't have a deep understanding of transformation techniques and couldn't transform as he wished, so he rarely used it. Ling Xiao was also curious about what kind of transformation technique Zhao Ritian would use. Thank you. Don't worry, after we leave the alchemy book pavilion, I'll help you refine the revival creation pill. Zhao Ritian was overjoyed as he said to Ling Xiao. Rumble. Just like Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian took out an ancient array disc and formed a powerful array that enveloped him and Ling Xiao. Mist filled the air and runes rose, containing an extremely powerful fluctuation. This is the Tianyi Great Array. Those 2 old fellows definitely can't see through this great array. Zhao Ritian explained to Ling Xiao. Then, with a flash of light, a stream of light appeared in his body and transformed into a body that looked exactly like him. The body then sat down with its legs crossed. As for Zhao Ritian, his body flashed and transformed into a white line. He inserted himself into the clothes on Ling Xiao's arm without making a sound. Even when Ling Xiao's primordial spirit covered him, he didn't notice Zhao Ritian's existence. What a magical transformation technique. What's the name of this transformation technique? If that's the case, I can bring you to the 7th level. Ling Xiao exclaimed in surprise. He was sure that Zhao Ritian's transformation technique wasn't any weaker than his heaven-shrouding secret technique. When Zhao Ritian transformed into a white line, he really did become a white line. It was a transformation of the level of life. It wasn't a simple transformation technique. It was extremely profound. This transformation technique is called the Tianyi 36 transformations. It can transform into anything in the universe. Don't worry, those 2 old fellows definitely won't notice me. Zhao Ritian's voice was transmitted into Ling Xiao's mind. It was filled with confidence. Tianyi 36 transformations? I've heard of it before. It seems to be a supreme sacred technique from the ancient times. You actually have such an opportunity? Not bad. Alright, let's go. Ling Xiao nodded and walked out of Zhao Ritian's Tianyi formation. Then he walked towards the 7th level of the alchemy library. At the entrance of the 7th level of the alchemy library, there was indeed a 7-colored barrier. It was filled with mysterious light, and the runes were extremely beautiful. Ling Xiao could feel that it contained an incomparably terrifying power. If he were to force his way in, he would probably trigger a backlash from the barrier. Ling Xiao stood in front of the 7-colored barrier. Then he stretched out a hand and patted the 7-colored barrier. Buzz! The 7-colored barrier trembled slightly. In an instant, a light flashed and a passageway appeared. Zhao Ritian wasn't discovered. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he walked into the 7th level of the alchemy library. Outside the alchemy library, the black-robed old man's eyes flashed. Why did that guy copy Zhao Ritian and set up a formation? Is he trying to sneak into the 7th level? Impossible. You should know about the Rainbow Huanling formation on the 7th level. Even if he hides in a spatial treasure, he won't be able to enter. I think that guy should be cultivating. Moreover, I can feel that he's still in the formation. The white-robed old man's eyes flashed as he said calmly, "That's for the best." However, the 7th level is extremely mysterious. It's a small world. We can't see what's going on inside. We don't know what benefits Zhao Ritian will obtain. The black-robed old man said slowly. That's a place of fortune. Everyone's fortune is different. Their opportunities are different. However, a month's time is still a little short. The white-robed old man said calmly. To be able to defeat Zhuo Bufan, Mount Dan Talisman can't let go of such a peerless genius. I'm sure the Mountain Master already knows about it. When they come out of the Alchemy Library, let the Mountain Master keep Zhao Ritian in Mount Dan Talisman. The black-robed old man nodded his head. Rumble. After Ling Xiao stepped into the 7th level, a dazzling light flashed before his eyes. Mist filled the air, and he seemed to be walking through a mysterious tunnel. Not long after, the light in front of Ling Xiao changed. He took a step forward and arrived in an extremely mysterious space. This is the 7th level of the Alchemy Library? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. Ling Xiao was standing on a hillside, and in front of him was a vast expanse of land. There were continuous mountain ranges, towering ancient trees, and blooming exotic flowers and herbs. There were even all kinds of spiritual beasts running on the ground. Ling Xiao did not expect the 7th level of the Alchemy Library to be a small world. Chapter 1913. Ling Xiao stood on the hillside and looked around. This small world was extremely vast, and he couldn't see the end of it. However, it exuded an ancient and mysterious aura. This isn't the real world. Ling Xiao's heart suddenly jolted as his eyes revealed a trace of light. A strange aura fluctuation appeared on his body. His heart realm was activated by Ling Xiao. His eyes seemed to be covered with a layer of 7-colored light. The world in front of him instantly changed. Rumble. The vast land, mountains and ancient trees all disappeared. In an instant, it turned into a vast flame. The flame was blazing and dazzling as if it wanted to burn everything into ashes. Ling Xiao could feel the scorching aura, but with a thought, the sea of fire in front of him disappeared in an instant. Instead, an ancient primeval forest appeared. It was full of vitality, and there were mysterious flowers and herbs everywhere. The small world in front of him seemed to be able to change according to Ling Xiao's thoughts. It was extremely mysterious. Ling Xiao then understood that the 7th level of the Alchemy Library wasn't a small world. It was a heart realm that was hidden between reality and illusion. Is this a heart realm condensed from the mixed Yuan heart pill scripture? It seems like Mount Dan Talisman has obtained quite a lot of Sun Moon Elixir sex inheritance. Ling Xiao thought to himself. It was difficult for ordinary people to discover that this was a heart realm. Even if they could discover it, they wouldn't be able to make the heart realm change as they wished. Ling Xiao had obtained the mixed Yuan Elixir Saint's inheritance. Therefore, when he activated his heart realm, he discovered that this small world was the heart realm of an almighty expert. Interesting. The 6th level has an Alchemy Saint Dao fruit that contains an Alchemy Emperor's origin. The 7th level is a heart realm. The foundation of Mount Dan Talisman really can't be underestimated. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Rumble. Ling Xiao's powerful heart force spread out and spread towards this small world. Ling Xiao cultivated the Great Void Heart Charm scripture, and his heart force was extremely strong. Now that he had obtained the mixed Yuan heart pill scripture, he had the inheritance of Alchemy Dao and Talisman Dao. After verifying each other, Ling Xiao's heart realm became even stronger. Although it hadn't reached the prominent divine realm, it already had the power to interfere with reality to a certain extent. Ling Xiao wanted to find out what secrets were hidden in this small world. After all, the 7th level of Pill Talisman Mountain was a forbidden area of the Alchemy Library. Even the genius disciples of Pill Talisman Mountain were not qualified to enter. Presumably, it contained very important treasures. Ling Xiao, there's something wrong with this small world. This doesn't seem to be a real small world. Zhao Ritian, who was hiding on Ling Zhao's clothes, did not appear. After all, he was a little guilty of sneaking into the 7th level. Naturally, he became extremely cautious. Moreover, hiding it on Ling Zhao's clothes did not affect his observation of the 7th level. You noticed it too? This should be the heart realm of a powerful expert. Ling Zhao did not hide anything from Zhao Ritian and smiled. Heart realm? Could it be left behind by a heart saint expert? The legendary heart saint can create things out of thin air and kill people with a thought. Their strength is unfathomable. It is very difficult to prove one's Dao heart saint. It is not much easier than achieving the saint physique. Zhao Ritian's eyes lit up as he transmitted his voice to Ling Zhao. You're right. This should be the heart realm of a heart saint. However, even if there were any treasures in the heart realm, they would have been taken by Pill Talisman Mountain long ago. I can't guess what they are trying to do by leaving this heart realm as the 7th level of the alchemy library. Ling Zhao nodded his head. What are their intentions? Isn't this a simple matter? Zhao Ritian smiled proudly. Oh, you know? Ling Zhao asked, a little surprised. Of course I know. Using the heart realm as the 7th level of the alchemy library is both a test and an opportunity. If a disciple of Pill Talisman Mountain has the chance to enter the 7th level and comprehend the heart force, it means that this disciple has the chance to prove his Tao as a pill saint using the heart force. One must know that the Tao of the heart pill is extremely mysterious. Using the heart force to refine pills in the heart realm is countless times faster than refining pills normally. Moreover, the effects are better. The reason why Pill Talisman Mountain left this heart realm behind must be to choose a successor. I guess that the heart realm must contain the origin of the Tao of the heart pill. Let's go and look for it. Perhaps we can obtain some good fortune. Zhao Ritian said confidently. The Tao of the heart pill? We can give it a try. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he nodded his head. The Great Void Heart Talisman scripture should be considered the Tao of the heart talisman, while the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture was the Tao of the heart pill. Although Ling Zhao had condensed the heart realm and cultivated the Tao of the heart pill with half the effort, if he could find the origin of the heart pill hidden here and devour it, it would be greatly beneficial to Ling Zhao's heart realm. This small world might be very vast, but it was not difficult for Ling Zhao. As long as he activated the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture, it should be easy for him to find the origin of the heart pill. Whoosh! Ling Zhao leaped up and stepped on the void. His white robe fluttered in the wind as he flew towards the depths of the small world. According to the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture, the origin of the heart pill should be in the depths of the small world. Rumble. The changes of the heart realm seemed mysterious and unpredictable. At one moment it was raging flames. At the next moment, it was raging waves. At the next moment, it was an ancient forest formed by towering ancient trees. At the next moment, it was an endless galaxy. If an ordinary person entered the small world, it would probably take a very long time just to decipher the changes of the heart realm. However, Ling Zhao did not have any concerns. He stood in the void with an extremely calm expression as he looked at the changes of the heart realm below. It was as if he was standing from the perspective of a bystander. He was untainted and could not be affected at all. In the end, Ling Zhao landed on a barren mountain. The barren mountain was only a few hundred feet tall, and there was no vegetation. It was all bare rocks that were dark brown in color, as if it had been burned by a raging fire. Ling Zhao stood on the barren mountain, and felt as if he was standing in the center of the world. In front of Ling Zhao, there was a simple and unadorned stone house. There was a black stone cauldron outside the house. It looked as tall as a person, and its stone surface was mottled. It had a sense of vicissitudes of life. Other than the stone house and stone cauldron, there was nothing else on the barren mountain. Could the origin of the heart pill be here? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat as his gaze landed on the stone house and stone cauldron. There was a strange light in his eyes. He could feel that although the stone house and stone cauldron looked very ordinary, they did not seem to be real and did not exist in this void. It was as if they were separated by endless time and space. Ling Zhao reached out his hand, wanting to touch the stone cauldron. Buzz! Chapter 1914. Everything is possible. like a dream or a bubble. Ling Xiao seemed to have thought of a Buddhist scripture as he mumbled to himself. The stone cauldron in front of him looked extremely ordinary, as if it was within his reach. However, it also felt like it was on the other side of the world. This was neither a formation nor the power of space. Ling Xiao did not sense any fluctuations in space-time. This was the power of the heart. An almighty had hidden the stone house and stone cauldron away. Unless he could understand the means of the almighty, he might be able to break through the power of the heart and touch the stone cauldron. Buzz. A mysterious fluctuation spread out from the stone house and stone cauldron, enveloping Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could sense that the mysterious ripples contained an incomparably profound truth of alchemy, allowing him to gain many insights. Ling Xiao, could it be that the origin of the heart pill is hidden in the stone house and stone cauldron? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. It's possible. However, it has been sealed by an almighty using his power of heart. We can only rely on ourselves to understand it. Ling Xiao said slowly. Has it been sealed? Hee. Why don't we see if we can break it open by force? Zhao Ritian said eagerly. Don't act rashly. I'm afraid that the 7th level is under the surveillance of the Saint of Mount Pill Talisman. If you dare to come out, you'll be chased out before we can obtain the origin of the heart pill. Let me try first. Ling Xiao stopped Zhao Ritian. He knew what Zhao Ritian was thinking. This guy must be planning to rely on the Supreme Emperor weapon, the Emperor Yen Cauldron, to break the seal on the stone house and stone cauldron by force. Alright then. Zhao Ritian nodded his head. Ling Xiao sat down in front of the stone cauldron with his legs crossed. The stone cauldron looked extremely simple. The walls of the cauldron were mottled and exuded an aura of vicissitudes. Originally, there should be runes or drawings on the walls of the cauldron. However, they were now extremely blurry. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in front of the stone cauldron. His heart was as calm as an ancient well. There was no joy or sorrow. His heart realm appeared around him. Powerful heart force permeated the air as he carefully touched the stone cauldron. Ling Xiao's Great Void Heart Talisman scripture was cultivated to the peak of the 5th level. He was only one step away from the prominent divine stage. However, it was this one-step difference that caused his heart realm to be incomparably illusory. It was formless and formless. Others couldn't sense it at all. Only he could see that it was a world filled with primal chaos that was faintly appearing around him. When Ling Xiao's powerful heart force touched the stone cauldron trembled slightly. Ling Xiao couldn't touch the stone cauldron with his hands, but his heart force could. In order to verify Ling Xiao's thoughts, he began to circulate the power of the Mixed Yuan Heart Dance Sutra, slowly channeling his vast heart force into the stone cauldron. There was no resistance, not even a hint of sluggishness. Ling Xiao's heart force directly entered the stone cauldron. It is indeed of the same origin as the Mixed Yuan Heart Dance Sutra. Ling Xiao understood in his heart. Without any hesitation, the vast amount of heart energy in his heart realm gushed into the stone cauldron at this moment. The stone cauldron trembled slightly, producing the sound of metal and stone. As Ling Xiao channeled his heart force into the stone cauldron trembled more and more violently. Strands of mysterious light shot out from the stone cauldron. Kacha! A crisp sound rang out. The mottled surface of the stone cauldron began to fall off. Resplendent light shot out from within. Mysterious patterns appeared, forming strange runes. Mysterious images appeared on the walls of the stone cauldron. The light from the stone cauldron became more and more dazzling. In the end, the stone cauldron trembled violently. The mottled surface of the stone cauldron completely fell off. In an instant, millions of resplendent rays of golden light shone from it. Strands of golden flames began to burn fiercely. Ling Xiao could sense that the stone cauldron was not a real stone cauldron. Instead, it was an entity condensed from his vast heart force. When Ling Xiao channeled his heart force into the stone cauldron gave off an extremely familiar ripple. Perhaps I can completely devour the stone cauldron. Ling Xiao thought. The stone cauldron was formed from his vast heart force. It came from the same source as the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture. Ling Xiao did not even need to refine it. He could directly fuse it into his heart realm. Refining this stone cauldron might allow his heart force to break through to the prominent domain stage even faster. However, the only thing he needed to worry about right now was Mount Pill Talisman. Ling Xiao was certain that there was a saint observing his every move. If he refined the stone cauldron, he would definitely be discovered by Mount Pill Talisman. I can't care about that anymore. This is a great opportunity. If I don't take it, I will definitely be punished. At most, I'll just leave behind a portion of my heart force. Ling Xiao's heart stirred. He instantly made his decision. Rumble. In Ling Xiao's eyes, golden flames erupted from the stone cauldron. Then, an incomparably vast and pure heart force surged out from the stone cauldron. All of it flew towards Ling Xiao's heart realm. Just as Ling Xiao was refining the stone cauldron, in a mysterious space on the 7th floor, a black-robed old man's eyes flashed. The light in front of him was dense. What appeared was the scene of Ling Xiao sitting cross-legged in front of the stone cauldron. This Zhao Ritian actually cultivated heart force? To be able to move the stone cauldron, he must have obtained the inheritance of the mixed Yuan heart pill scripture. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to activate the heart force in the stone cauldron. Could it be that the person who obtained the inheritance of the mixed Yuan pill saint is really him? The black-robed old man's eyes revealed a trace of shock. Then it became incomparably fiery. This Zhao Ritian definitely has a huge secret on him. If you didn't come to the 7th floor, perhaps I wouldn't be able to do anything to you. Unfortunately, you didn't take the path to heaven and barged into hell. Since that's the case, then hand over all the secrets on your body. The black-robed old man's eyes flashed with killing intent. A piece of black ancient stone appeared in his palm. Rumble. The black-robed old man's majestic divine power poured into the black stone. The black stone emitted a bright light. Runes rose up one after another. In an instant, a powerful void fluctuation spread out silently. Ling Xiao, who was devouring the heart force in the stone cauldron, suddenly felt a sense of danger. Then a blazing light bloomed around him. Runes rose up and gathered into an incomparably terrifying sacred array, enveloping him within. Who's there? Ling Xiao opened his eyes and stood up. His eyes were filled with vigilance. He had already devoured 90% of the heart force in the stone cauldron. Ling Xiao's spiritual sense was incomparably powerful. To be able to silently trap him with a powerful sacred array, it could only mean that it was someone from Mount Pill Talisman. Could it be that the saint of Mount Pill Talisman had discovered that he was devouring the heart force in the stone cauldron, so he made a move? Just as Ling Xiao was guessing, a light flashed in the void. An incomparably vast saint's aura enveloped the void. A black-robed old man appeared in the void. His aura was monstrous and unfathomable. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.